another day, another part of everybody in a different part of the world. Today is November 8th, 2020, a new day. We are alive. We tell God thank you. Amidst all the craziness of the world, the pandemic is going on, coronavirus is going on, but we're still alive. And we have people among us that are sick, like my co-host, one of my co-hosts, Mr. Kutubu Koma. I know they feel too well, so I know say some people, they say, where's Kutubu? Well, Professor Kutubu not there with me right now because he's not feeling good. They take time for, take care of himself, because when you sick, you have to take time to take care of yourself. I get with me today, we can talk on things the way they happen in the world. We see America now do the election. On the 3rd of November 2020, we see Americans, the millions of Americans, they go to the poll for what choose what they want. We see the process go through, the process don't work, and we don't elect a president-elect Biden, but we get question for ask with people them. We will get question for ask with people them. What in the lesson that West Sierra Leone get for learn from this? What in the lesson that way President Bill get for take from this? What in the lesson them where the people of America send the message out there, waiting and waiting, we go up much padande. So then also, we will also talk on the Attorney General. The Attorney General, we already say the Attorney General make a decision, say they're not for the Auditor General, not for audits, the money them will come in for COVID-19. But we get the question they will go ask, say, why they're not for doing, because we all know, say, President Bio say transparency. Now, one of the big things the way they talk about transparency and accountability. Why now part of in government, they ask, they say, they make the decision, say, they're not for audit the money because we go talk on that day, we go count to that. Then also we go show waiting the mayor don't do, they open up a new building where they don't build for we, North Korea build for we can't talk on that day, and we show a small video on waiting the mayor say they don't achieve since he don't day in the office. We also go bring another video where we hear NGC, the leader, KKY, in the parliament, they talk about the budget. They talk about waiting, because we don't talk on the budget. And I know say Mr. Kagbo, when I be the former CEO and founder of this television station, he's an economist. They don't talk about this economic situation. We're gonna Salone. We are waiting kind of let's say put your own voice inside it. So with me today, I get two fine gentlemen. I get Mr. Alan. Mr. Alan, when na free tongue base, he's an activist, a day with we today, and also we get Mr. Shilon, my usual co-host, a lawyer based in South Carolina, in Sef Goka Rob. So Mr. Shilon, sir, I will let you tell you family I do, and then we go to Mr. Tuboku Metsika.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on what part of the world you're there and where you listen to this broadcast. So hope everybody to do okay. So I name Mohammed Shilon. They come from the United States, North Carolina. So hope when I go enjoy the show. Thank you.
Okay. So I think we all lost Mr. Alan for a second. Okay. Okay, so Mr. Alan Tuboku Metsika, he's an activist now. Salone, Mr. Alan, tell the people them quick I do. He's a regular on Voice of Salone, a guy we can give in own sense for add by waiting there and try for allow the push go before. So Mr. Shilon, Mr. Metsika, sir.
Me fambo Leonardo, me na Mr. Tuboku Metsika. They again on the talk show tonight. We could discuss and deliberate important issues, things that were relevant to Mama Salone and things that we need for know. So, stay tuned.
Okay, thank Thank you. Mr. Tuboku Mexico and Tuboku Mexico and a free tongue a base, so we will get for the get small back and forth. So when I go beer with me, family them. But before we go any further, we know say the world get pandemic, they call them coronavirus, they call them COVID-19. Now the rubbish we all they kill, we don't kill but people them, especially United States of America, they so. But Salone they put a team together, the NACOVAT, they try for fight this coronavirus. And so far, we don't get 74 people every day, 74 people too much. Every one life we lost is very, very, important. But 74 people, they don't die so far. And then we get 96 people that were there in quarantine. And then 2,381, all the tests that were there, we don't do, and all the people that don't recover. So we continue for say, una adhere to the laws of waiting the people that we sabi tell una, waiting for due, and also social distancing. It's very, very hard for una maintain them, especially in Sierra Leone. Especially them big markets, the open air market will get the Kisi Street, Abacha Street, Dove Court, Dong Salad Ground, all them side, and they crowd. But on a lot try for do because I know say Mr. Allen go tell we because I know say they get a law now where they say if you don't wear mask, then go fine you, you go pay in a court. But it's still I don't know how they go able for make that enforce that law there because beaucoup people they know they wear mask na free time. Beaucoup people they even the one day where they up the ladder then self then they see them would video them, would see them per picture then they know they wear mask. So now that they make some people can talk say coronavirus not in a Salone, but we will believe say coronavirus there inside our day corona they kill we. So on a we do it in and say, make it slow pull corona, let go back to the normal life then. So Mr. Alan, sir, with the corona team, do you have anything to add for that?
Well, thank you very much, Madam Fadima. Regarding the corona, just like what you were explaining, let's take it on the mask, the use of the mask. We all know, say, even the WHO be non-pull was some time back, they may not review that in policy, the use of masks. But the kind of way then they enforce and they want to enforce on a Salone, it more or less get some human rights issues because there are times, me myself now where they use mask, it's like I'm not able to breathe. So the mask itself, they give a lot of problems to people and not to everybody they use mask, in actual fact. Because some people that don't use mask, it's just like you are killing them. So and the kind of way them in the enforcement is like enriching the police officers because the police them any law where government make is just like a way of making them to be rich because sometimes if government say if for you seat belt an example if you not use seat belt they pay 500,000 then policeman meets me and not use seat belt then all at a sudden that person they take 200,000 again before you go pay 500,000. That's a way of making the police being rich. Because we police them, of course, and they wait for their opportunities and then policies the way government they make because nobody is actually monitoring the system, So a lot of things don't go wrong with the people and the fight with police on the use of masks. But again, a question will make you ask why the police are not the good of course. Why the police are not the good Abacha. There are several places in a town where you they expect saying that they more or less the crowd in day. You see everybody, people and they wear not get masks. Then when somebody they pass on the street, they pass, you go see police and say where you pass. Then why they not go to them public places and then Dove for them marketplaces and then try for enforcement. So and when they say law, it cut across equality before the law. Everybody get for actually abide by the law, except otherwise because from the beginning I've been known for the until when I go for the very easy because and when I can arrest everybody they use masks. Say some people they use masks, some people they use them. And I go to police station recently because I go to a statement. I see all the police and the police station not being masked. But when they come on the street, then they change them to use masks. So now, I see nobody put masks. Say you should not your people. Nobody else use masks. So I'm not regard the policy probably, but to my knowledge, the government use and they don't repeat that policy. But now I see. People say corona not in a Salone, corona. Well, that's their take. But if the government say corona in a Salone, 74 people don't die or something. Well, and Salone are the only country this will tell people go thank you where with the main corona. and stand for doctors.
Thank you so much, Mr. Allen. I don't know if you get anything, Mr.
On the, well, the whole thing sounds bizarre to me in terms of the mask requirement. Because for me, as a lawyer, the thing I not seem to understand Australian, either we just copy and we copy things without modification, or we do things without regard to how they affect the people. If you require mask, you get for look at the economic status of the people in generally and determine if in fact people can afford them. Because some of them masks here that all people use regularly, they are disposable. So can the people afford disposable masks at their expense? If not, their money here where the World Bank, the GIWI, the International Organization, and the GIWI for the coronavirus, and then they also give with supplies. These are things then we will forgive people and for free. And we foretell them, say, where certain things are available in case you not get them for go get pick them up for free. Because even America here, where we almost everybody can afford mask. Okay, they still give it for free at a lot of locations. There are stores where require mask. When you go there, you not get the mask. Then they remind you, so you forget mask, and they hand you a free one. So if they can do an aya, where people can afford them, why will they require people in back home for wear a mask when they know say the large percentage of the population cannot afford them? So why do we make laws like that? We legislators them, therefore know better, because this is an undue burden on the population, because they don't deserve that kind of heavy-handedness there. Then we also know, like Mr. Allen just explained, Mr. Tubokumesga just explained, that sometimes unless you think through the laws the way you pass, it go end up having unintended consequences. So when you pass laws them, where they enrich police them, and then enable police them for subject people to undue burden, that is unfair. You pass laws, you say you go find the people. Okay, well, what any amount of fines, again, undue financial burden on people, and because they cannot afford it. Now you pass laws that the people can afford. Then you say if you find them in violation of that law, you will find them in a bad economy. I mean, this is just total madness. Then there is no uniformity in the application and the enforcement of the law, of the rule we want to pass. So now police get a choice for, like you see 20 people without mask, then decide not to do anything, then see one particular person without mask, then go after them. So, I mean, this is crazy because I don't understand that kind of system there, whereby we know will take things seriously. But we believe, say, if the vast majority of people know to wear masks, it's mostly because it's an issue of affordability. They cannot afford it. So when would they pass the law there? Just because foreign nations then get them, like the developed countries like America, England, France, Germany, Australia, Canada, just because countries like that didn't get them, not necessarily we say for pass the same laws on with people that what we know say the practical application of such a law is next to impossible. So we just know to treat the people in right in many respects. And then people talk about all this. I mean, it's a lot of talk. I'm very, very, very little concerned for the well-being of the people. So now me on check down on the mask issue. I mean, it doesn't surprise me that most people are not wearing masks. And I don't have any issue with most people not wearing masks, because if the government back home take things seriously, then the first order of business is how can the larger percentage of the population comply? Because if we try for pass laws will enable more people for comply than for violate them. And here it's clear. People cannot comply because they cannot afford it. And then if you find them on top of that, it's so unfair. So this basic sense of fairness is what we should engage ourselves in on a lot of times. So now me on additionally to the coronavirus and the mask.
Thank you so much. Thank you. We all try for put the sense, because if you put law, the law get for being enforced across the board, and for lay people, them can they afford the mask? Because and some people they get difficulty in breathing with the mask. And like how Mr. Shilon says, some side and the way go now, where you not get the mask, then get and forgive you. But we know say na Salone then make. So let we go to this corona, because we talk on this corona. I want to go to the main topic. But let's just go much quick, but something will come up then days here on social media. The Attorney General, Mr. Briwa, come up say. And then we see a Telegraph, the Telegraph newspaper, Sierra Leone Telegraph put up, and then they're all over social media. We really say the Attorney General, Mr. Briwa, he said they not for do audit, the Auditor General not for do an audit on the coronavirus money because of emergency, because of things. But we all know say President Bill big thing where he big on where he carry it. After an education program where he carry it. Another thing where he carry up is say transparency and accountability. Remember say the time where Ebola been come, the former president and his bike Roma, one video been come out where been talk say, I've been tell the leader not eat Ebola money. Even though he tell them not for eat Ebola money, but we know say some of the money then they eat them, they not put them outside for put. So if the Auditor General come up say, I want accountability for this money, how would they spend them for avoid for let we not can loan them tomorrow we get for come back say, well, this money how would spend them. That and we read the SEC boss we don't talk to they say. In order for fire brigade, they go and hot fire. He won't stop the fire before the fire be. So now, why did the Attorney General, according to the Telegraph, where he say we not for audit this money, why the people of Sierra Leone not for know who side this money they go waiting and they use with them? Because President, we talk about accountability and I'm big thing that day. But people inside administration, this same government where this man, this president don't talk say he no wants this, but yet some people in there where I don't know who side them pull down, they would say they're not for investigate or find out or audit this money for see how then they spend them before it can go other kind way. So I will pass on to me two gentlemen them because we talk about corona, la bringa, not one bringa yet, but la bringa now solo done with them. Now we can go to the main topic. So I will give you first, Mr. Tubo Kumezikasa. I will give you first. Let you put your sense by this talk here where you so.
Thank you very much, Madam Fadima, and thank you very much to all we audience where they out and where they actually listen to we. Well, when we hear about this talk on the Attorney General, they stop the Auditor General not for do an audit on the corona funding or all the transaction where they take place during the corona, that auditing not for be done. I mean, I was a little bit perplexed. I was a little bit surprised. I said, no, this is not to the Attorney General. But if at all, I end up or say, if at all not the Attorney General, then I don't think say President Bill is really lucky to get a good Attorney General, because the first one or the second one or now the third one. So I don't think say President Bill is blessed to have a good legal advisor, because we all know say the Attorney General is the legal advisor of the President. And if this one they can't say now they're not for audits, the corona transaction or the funds will come during the corona or fight the corona, instead enough for audit, and then it's like it is not trap it is set for President Bio. And it's very clear out there. A trap it is set. It's just like when Taikata for you. It's like not Taikata, the Taikata for President Bio. If we can't too sure yet. If actually not that the Attorney General say when a Taikata, the Taikata for President Bio. Because how you go say a financial transaction will don't take place during the corona, he said enough for auditor. Then where you want me auditor? Now the next government will go come. Is it going to be C4C, NGC, or APC, or REFP? You want left that will give them. And you know, say if any other government go for come after this government, then Jesus get for doing. So why you not go do one term and forget about them? So when the government will come tomorrow, then we don't make sure then we don't meet and put my record straight. So these are some of the things that came up. Whereas as he say, well, if not the Attorney General says so, well, nothing say if he mean well for President Bio. Honestly, because as a legal advisor, if he say I'm for able to guide the president on some of the issues there. Yeah. And if the Auditor General ready for do an audit, because we all seen at the previous administration during the Ebola, waiting President Koroma been do. President Koroma do in real time, he give a part to the Auditor General, then do a real time audit. There was even this guy when I think the Deputy Auditor General when I want Tamba Momo. He was the guy who was fully in charge. Even then go to parliament, then find people then pay, then people then they pay. People like the Charles Mambu and others. Of course, I'm not afraid for calling in at the media because much was expected from him. And several other big ones were named. Mrs. and Apostle have been posting in a newspaper. Somebody came and go, IMC. He said, why have to put in name in the newspaper? Whereas ACC be indicted. ACC indicted a good number of them. Then we are published in a newspaper. The person go take care me go na IMC for defamation of character. But I tell him, I say, well, go and charge ACC, not to me for charge, because ACC now forward me the list of those guys who were indicted. So now this kind of situation, if the previous administration under the APC then do a real-time audit during the Ebola transaction and all that thing, and then find people then, they indict people and then people then pay them on a day, like Charles Mambu and others. Well, why SLPP not for one? And by then there was still a state of emergency. Under the APC, there was a state of emergency, and then do a real-time audit, not even a normal annual audit for say then they wait make the year go round. Then do a real-time audit, whereas a real-time audit and auditing whether they do on the process. For example, as the work they go on, so then they do auditing. They're not they wait say past the other year. No. So that was done during the APC. Why now the Attorney General, as the Telegraph say, and several other media and Salone they talk and now say the Attorney General stop the Auditor General, or they say enough for audits the corona because of the state of emergency. What is state of emergency actually they do with auditing the corona form? And even the European Union head was even found at them, because I read some few documents them. The European head of European Union not been too happy about that statement, So and it not go down well with Sierra Leone. So we encourage President Bio. Probably President Bio might not be informed about this, because at the same thing we be up with the impress the last time. I think Madam Fadima we run the same program there. Whereas then go get something for sign where you not be aware of. As we've been there for urgent at the social media before President Bio himself actually noticed that was also a dangerous document for less time. President Bio be for return back, sign them. So similarly, I think say this one said President Bio, we need to bring account to the attention of President Bio, because they kind of waiting me to see actions like this from the Attorney General. I'm afraid if not the Attorney General do one there, if he say not correct, and they need to go back on the drawing table and try for security for do, because if President Bio they preach the accountability and transparency, well, if he say this is a new direction and with the expect say everything has to be straightforward and everything has to be on the good footing, then all at a sudden, how you go say you can't fight corruption, then they can't stop not people not for audit, because auditing is about transparency. It's about actually putting the record straight, because at the end of the day, the other government will go after owner, because if you not do your work you're supposed to do now, what a government can then go after? And not like these situations and then alone. Every government get to take responsibility of your administration. Where you audit your administration, put the record straight, so where the other government can emit a clean record. There you go. So we'll not go there. Now that make you see Dr. Yum Keller, they talk about this merry-go-round. That Salone issue is like merry-go-round. They go round at the same place today. Because when other government can, they go begin to go after this government. Where this government can, they go begin go after this government. And why should they do that? They will not go forward. We are always distracted by those things and will not go up on developments. This is exactly what President Bio face. So Death Watch, and this is the third year going. Now we ask yourself, waiting at the achievement. Everything is about white paper, transition report, commission of inquiry, everything, any officer you go, It's like where MRC been the thing, where you gonna an Escromae administration previously, we talk about road construction. So now where you gonna offices, every two people they talk about commission of inquiry, white paper, commission of inquiry, white paper. Is that all?
Yeah.
No,
Thank you
we
so
need
much.
to really take a U-turn.
Yeah, thank you for that contribution. Thank you. And Mr. Shilon, sir, what you get for add heavy talk, sir?
Okay, with me, it's kind of bizarre that the Attorney General, first of all, we have to determine whether I get the power for issue that declaration day or that prohibition day about not for audit the coronavirus fund. So maybe he get the power. Maybe the Constitution get that power there. Maybe, or there are some regulations that will get that power there. So from a lawyer standpoint, that's the first thing me go question for, say, does he really have the power for tell the Auditor General who for audit and who are not for audit? Maybe he does. But if he get the power for do that, I find that to be a strange power for be vested in the Attorney General. Because since the Attorney General himself, or almost all government officials, nobody should be exempt from auditing, including the president, who is the number one man. So I do not understand how can such a power be given to the Attorney General. And we always make a mistake with Attorney General also. The Attorney General is not the president's lawyer. The Attorney General is the people's lawyer. The Attorney General is head of the law department. In America, we would say the Justice Department. So he is the people's lawyer. Now in America, these are some of the things we for put into place for improved system back home. The president forget presidential counsel or a presidential lawyer, a lawyer whose sole business it is in the State House. The government for provide the president that for advise the president on legal issues. That position, they can be held, it could be an official position paid for by the government. As long as the issue involves government activities, the government handle that bill. Now the president, of course, can get private lawyers and will do other things. But now back home, we'll get the whole thing jumbled up, mixed up. So the Attorney General is regarded as a lawyer for the president. So the other thing about what you may see, Naya, about this auditing, in fact, I think the opposite. If we are really serious about combating corruption, the Auditor General in power for be expanded. The Auditor General for get more staff, more investigators, more ability for refer matters very quickly to the ACC, and the Auditor General in office for be the most office will forget the most witnesses for prosecution against anyone cited or charged with a crime. So the whole thing look kind of confusing because first, Auditor General is not fully staffed. So you're not doing work efficiently. Then the next thing is the Auditor General is being told you can audit this, you can't audit this. And also that contradicts the notion of transparency, because the only reason, in fact, I take the position that if the president is unaware of this, somehow, that's why I assume say get press secretary, he should be aware of it. And if he does, what you need for do, now if I call the AG, if not to get that instruction, even though I think the opposite, I think the president is fully aware of what the Attorney General is doing. But assuming in the light most favorable to the president that he doesn't know what's in the go on, the moment where he hears something like that, now if I call the AG say, no, because this could cast me in the wrong light, please let them audit the funding. But to allow that for go through, I mean, if you're really serious about transparency, that's what you will do. Because the only reason why you will say, and transparency is accountability. But the only reason will make you go say, oh yeah, I want for you or you be my cover, and not for be any funds under the the coronavirus funding are for be exempted from that. That of itself creates a cloud of suspicion. So I do not understand. Sometimes some of what we do back home, people are struggling so hard trying to give. We don't forgive the president good advice because this is not cast time in a good light at all. So you're not going to receive money. I mean, let me just say, even among ourselves, if this show would do so, then give a producer X amount of dollars. Then right away, somebody, one among we say, well, producer not for be held for produce the show, but not for be held accountable how you spend the money, how you not spend them. Well, why should we even encourage that? Why should we be in support of that? You know? So even this in a private context, let alone governmental context, where accountability is the key to efficient running of a government. So I don't understand that. So if the Attorney General say that, I hope the Attorney General will think twice for letting us say he may think he's protecting the president, but it casts the president and the entire system as corrupt. So they cast themselves in a bad light because people are not going to forget proof of corruption. We don't just get for see appearance of corruption. And once there is an appearance of corruption, of cover-up, that's all it takes for people to reach a conclusion for say, the only reason why they don't want for account or they don't want auditing because then they cheat some of the money and misapply them. So I do not understand, to me it defies common sense, why any government will say then they're above auditing. But that would be my take on it. The AG, does he have the power to even stop the Auditor General from the Attorney General? Does he have the power for stop the Auditor General from auditing a particular person? But if so, that kind of power, I don't think is reasonably based. You know, that would be my take on it.
Okay, Mr. Shillon, thank you so much. Like I say, I get two very, very wise people among us, you know, very experienced people. And, you know, we they try for talk for let them not go make that mistake there again. Like how, you know, say we keep going in the merry-go-round with the same mistake they make. That's why we're bringing up these conversations and hope, you know, like Mr. Briwa, the Attorney General, will look and say, you know, I have made a mistake. This was not the right decision for comeback because President Bio said transparency, accountability. There must be transparency and accountability. And so not to say that the president is not doing other good things and they happen, other small good things and they happen, but the bad thing can overshadow the good thing. So it will make like the president, no, they do nothing and bad thing and then now they try for courts, let them pull come out so that it will look like whoever they in government they do something for let them able to change the life of Sierra Leoneans. So we come to America. Then we come to November 3rd, 2020. Every first Tuesday of November, I think, Mr. Shillon, correct me, sir. Americans go to the poll to vote for a president. Every 4 years, a president is chosen, is elected to go represent the people. And you get 2-term limits where you get for do after your second term or whether they pull you the first time or second time. But we see a historical election will happen on the 3rd. And then they announce, say, the projected winner get for be Joe Biden. Joe Biden, he's a Democrat, and President Trump, we get for the January 20, where they go for pull him, President Trump get for come out, then Biden go come. But what thing good about what thing that they do so, President Trump don't accuse, say, they don't make malfunction or fraud or whatever I call them. Okay? Election fraud, it don't happen. So it don't put case in a court. The case go to court, the judge and go listen, whatever decision the judge and carry it, now we'll get for carry it. But for now, all the Associated Press, the inside America don't call the result for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris for let them be the president and the vice president come January 2021. So now we question we see there was a reform, there was a change, there was a movement. We see they said the record over 70-something million people voted for each party, only 4 million difference between the two candidates, 4 million votes different. Okay, the popular vote does not make you the president. The electoral college vote in America makes you the president. Some people they ask, say, why electoral college vote they make? Why not a democracy? Why this? Why that? Why that? Well, let me just make a quick phone. Electoral college then come with a because remember say the United States of America, and for let everybody be represented well in the Senate, they get 2 each, right? For every state get 2 representations, 2 senators. But when it comes to the House of Representation, when a 450 something go, 450, I don't remember 50, whatever it is. But those people are represented by the population. If, for example, where California get beaucoup people, they get beaucoup district and constituency or whatever, they get more representation than the House of Representatives. Therefore, the electoral vote will be more. In California, I get the highest, which is like 50 something. Then next to Texas, which are there. So that is how they do it. Because if they're not doing that, I ask the reason why. Why do they do it like this? Because then it look like saying, well, I say no. Because they are small states, some get 3 electoral college because their population small. So if you don't do like that, people will feel say they are not part of the process. So they say every vote they count by the representation of your population. So the total electoral college votes now 250, 538 in electoral college votes in America. So the shibam, so man the highest now 58 or 59. Then you get 3 now the lowest way some small states then get. So that is why they make it that way. But we don't see this election. There's a message inside this election. Now they ask, what in President Bio go learn from the defeat of Donald Trump? Because the people, not of us say they elect Joe Biden in politics, but there was something in the message that they fought against. And then it was like a referendum, you know, say that they can put for what's in called, but the people, even though they're not saying a referendum, but the people fought for morality. That is why President Donald Trump lost, because of morality, because of the way he talk to people, and because of the things the way he represents, because of certain things the way one part they feel say they neglected, because of the emboldening of certain group of people then will come out, people then feel threatened, people then feel say this president is not for them but for just one particular person where he's supposed to be the whole president. This is why they fed for. And to Georgia is a state in America where always a Republican for the past 30 years it's been a Republican state. But you had black women, because of the way where Donald Trump they talk to women. You had women, especially black women, and we have one particular one, Stacey Abrams. Stacey Abrams. He get the black people and say, "Una get for come out and vote," because the people did not vote in America, even though it's their right. People have died, but people did not vote. And the power is in the people. The people then gets the power, and the election result has shown that when people are tired, when people feel say they don't disenfranchise them, they not care about them, they are not part of the process, the leader will suffer a one time, and this is what happened to Donald Trump. So my question is to the panel, Mr. Salone, I go with you first, sir. Waiting President Bio go learn, waiting this present administration go learn from this thing we go on soon in America. This message where America said, because it is good versus evil, it is moral versus money, because we see the term for Corona, we see President Trump, he was like, let's open the economy. Even though, yes, money is important, but the livelihood of people are important too. And if you put money over people, there comes a time when people are going to look at you and say, wait a minute here, are you fit to be my president? Do you represent my views? Do you represent my morals? Do you represent my values? And President Trump, they don't vote him out of office. So I go to you, Mr. Salone.
All right.
What would President Bill learn?
Well,
the defeat of Trump?
I think there is a lot to be learned. The question is whether he will. Mm-hmm. For example, from my own point of view, this election show we why every government forbill the institutions of governments, the political system, we involve parliament, we involve the executive, we involve the courts. We should have strong parliamentary system where the parliamentarians and the operate are driven by the dedication to the people and the country than by personal desire for get money and enrich themselves. And this is why we need strong judicial system, strong court system, because if you take the American situation, we still do have a situation where by some unforeseeable event, we end up with a president for the past 3.5 years or almost 4 years now, where majority of the people think the country will go in the wrong direction, and the people, but what would you talk about democracy? This is not the interesting thing about democracy. There is no uniform or uniformity of democracy, but there is a basic pattern or rule we all forgo by. Now, I did not mean for the press in the United States that did an extensive, exhaustive job. Things will have been bad for this country in the next 4 years. If it wasn't, why to talk about the institutions, them in government, if it wasn't for the courts that did not hand the president victories because he cannot control them, if not to be a strong institution like the courts, because many times the president go to court, many times he lost. In fact, most times he lost. But so what this tells we own country is, it depends on what the president wants, but if you really come into power for improve the lives of the people and for improve the system and make the system work better, and for left that power day better than you meet them, where you come. This is a bad example that even when you get a president who wanted to take the country in the wrong direction, who had all ulterior motives for not for do the right thing, the system not allow him for do things as he wanted. As bad as you want for be, what he will try for be, dictator and all of that. So this is why somebody like me as a lawyer, now the duty of parliament, sometimes in Australia, the parliamentarians themselves decry, they say, oh, well, we'll file petition, we'll do this, the case not in a court, 5 years, 6 years, the court not do nothing. Well, of course, it's in law, we call that unconscionable. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. What is the case doing in one court for years? Australia don't get that many cases. Where who's I mean in IASO? Just one county will go be, we call a county, let me say an equivalent of a district back home, and then a Wake County. We did dispose just in traffic court. We did dispose of, and this is not one town no more. We did dispose of over 1,000 cases a day, one day. So this county where they, we did dispose of more cases in 1 week than the entire Salone dispose of in 2 or 3 years. What sense does it make? If it can be done here, it can be done there. Okay. So for me, the lesson where we leaders and for learn, and I know we leaders know better. I think they can just get overtaken once they find themselves in the situation where they did and get this enormous power. They know they can make or break people and enrich themselves. I think they can just go in the wrong direction. It's not like they don't know any better. Otherwise, election like this for teach people them why it's important for build strong government institutions them. Freedom of the press. Allow the press to operate freely, but with guidelines, of course. They cannot have absolute freedom. They cannot malign people unjustifiably, but with regulations and rules in place that people who serve in government are not entitled to the same degree of privacy as a private person who doesn't hold any government position. So all this for help we foresee how the rule of law matters. As we are now, the president we lost the election, when he's still in power, we're not going to accommodate until January 20th. And still just can't do what you want because of the rule of law, even though you're the active president. So these are important. But so parliament and the president back home, now therefore look at the examples there and say, you know what, we may not be America, but the requirement of a democracy, and we can't practice American type of democracy. We just get for Taylor, we own democracy for fit, we own system, we own social setup. I mean, there is no way we can do exactly how America, first of all, America is a huge country, it's a highly populated country. I mean, then diversity, now mostly in terms of race and ethnicity, but we get tribes. So it's a little complex.
Yeah.
You know, so that will be my thing. If we government for learn anything, and therefore know why it is important for strengthening the arms, not just for weakening government by breaking down all the regulations, then talking about you can't audit the president, you can't do this, you can't.
Thank you so much, Mr. Salone. And to that point, I want to give the president kudos, a check mark that he tried for, you know, we talk of freedom of press, he tried for pull that libel clause where they restrict them. Hopefully now the press, like you say, with responsible reporting, they can able for talk within the truth and let people then see, because the press is the fourth estate. Now the press they bring the news to the people, they therefore give, and we have so much negative news out there, and we not see too much of we mainstream media them inside Sierra Leone. They do the right thing and put out the information and try to educate the people and inform the people. Mr. Tubokumazega, you're on the ground, sir, and we all don't see. We see history in the making. We see the first Black woman, and don't be vice president of America, mixed by racial woman, Indian and Black, and we don't see, they don't pull with president. Like I say, good versus evil, moral versus thing, money before people feeling they're not part of this administration. And another thing I want to add inside is safety, because I hear because of the emboldening of these groups, them pockets group, them we come up, we feel say white as supreme beings more than what they call, whether we don't do with long term through slavery. We have some people that come out there and embolden thinking this president, now they talk the same language, because the words that they say, them are making say good talk na impun cola. And if you sabi talk, you can able a good leader, therefore be a good listener and also a good talker, therefore sabi for call the thing. But if I feel say you are not representing me, I'm going to vote against you. Safety is another issue. And I know say you've been on go through that recently, you know, abuse of power. People then where they misbehave inside the administration and inside the government arms them. You know, waiting at the lesson and waiting at the message you want put out there where people them go learn, waiting the president go learn, and waiting Salone people themselves go learn from this.
Thank you very much, Madam Fadima, and thanks to all my able listeners at the VOS Television. Again, Mina Mr. Tuboku Mexican. You see, let's start with this. Any leader around the world will never survive if you are arrogant. If you are arrogant, or you get people there around you were arrogant, that's not just a tool for bring you down. We all see Donald Trump throughout this past administration. He was somebody very, very arrogant. You know, be know how to talk to people. And leaders all over the world, we can always say leaders, now you for last talk. But if you they talk, you not get PR, you not get press officer, you not get everything now they do. And what you they even do, you know they do with any manner of respect. You do arrogantly, then what do you expect? You just they actually prepare an exit door for yourself. That was what happened with Donald Trump. Relating that to President Bio or Africa generally, before I come to President Bio, we see what happened in Nigeria, Jonathan Goodluck. I think that this thing all starts in Africa. Jonathan Goodluck never voted for him for the second office term. We come out of Ghana. Mahama was not given a second term. So all that for sending a message that awareness don't they come around the globe. And this awareness where don't they come around the globe, we for pay attention to that. Taking a look at commentators on the social media on Sierra Leone context. I know President Biona 10 years, President Biona 30 years, President Biona 50 years. Well, just like waiting with the say, waiting up in America, where we consider America for be the mother of democracy, or the country where believe in democracy, where they practice democracy, at least to 99.9%, we see waiting to happen recently. They not allowed Donald Trump for go do in second term because of waiting arrogance. So similarly, this for send a message to them on social media, or say if they continue for be arrogant, and then will bring the downfall of President Bio. If they continue for be rude, for be attackers, because waiting me they see of social media commentators, supporters of so-called supporters, because I don't know whether they are real supporters. Whether in social media, where they purport say that they support President Bio or the SLPP governments, they are very arrogant, and then they forget for realize say, if you not sabi talk, people they not go follow you up. When you are arrogant, people they not go follow you up because you always drive them away. And I sure say at this status who say President Bio now, he need people then for believing them, he need people then for follow them up, he need people then for like them. But if you go to social media, just take 30 minutes on social media, you read the utterances. And not only those on the social media, let's come back on the ground. Listen to the Minister of Lands. Week not they pass, where the Minister of Lands not they make proclamations, make statements there when of arrogance. Dr. Sandy.
Yes.
He is very arrogant. He is very arrogant. He violates every laws. Mr. Shilon, where they understand that you cannot just give an order for me and go broke oath without court order. We all know that. But Dr. Sandy, when the Minister of Lands, is doing that now. He doesn't want to even listen to the courts. He doesn't even listen to the law office. This is what arrogance do. Pride. Sometimes pride now they cause arrogance. And all this with the same, it happen. So now that make you see time to time some of what they talk on social media, we they call on President Bio say, people then they say APC, now they are mock President Bio. But honestly, me not think so now APC. Now young people then they shoot on the leg. Now, young people in the hamburger, people like the Dennis Sandy, the Minister of Lands. There are several more. But he is becoming more arrogant on the daily basis. He don't get respect from nobody. And we see it from the inception of this administration. Where President Biogi order say executive order number 1. The next thing he said pull ministerial order number 1. So it's like he was challenging the president. So that's from that moment in the say this guy, he got a young pattern. And young pattern where he gets, it not mean well for President Bio. Yes. It can might be for me, I tell her, this is media, are they talking? Well, will they challenge me on the media? But then it's the Minister of Finance is very arrogant. And that arrogance is not a good picking for President Bio administration.
Yeah.
Now, all these people that they put together, they put the bad name on President Bio. It don't a good name now or bad name, but President Bio himself, they see all anything there. You don't want to take action.
Yeah.
You can always tell people and say, power, you cannot share power. Once now you name them call, this is President Bio administration tomorrow. Where Minister of Lands go down go misbehave. Not to name them they call you. Now you, President Bio, all the bad President Koroma and Minister they do. See then how get the dombolo. President Koroma, nine and a drag, nine no more than the Alala President Koroma because he is the president. He was the president.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So now let we come to this America election related to Salone. Just like what you say, arrogance not the pay. And most of the government in Africa, when we take power, the first thing we want to weaken the opposition. When you weaken the opposition, what did they try for send? Which message did they try for send? If they send a message say, "What don't come on at this office?" Where the opposition fortunate for camp. If well all waiting and waiting don't meet, if they become an enemy. That is what is happening in Africa. Now that's the actually affect Africa. If you target the opposition, you want weaken the opposition. If the opposition not get the capacity, when I go for can take over that office day tomorrow, then we just spoil all team back. Then at the same merry-go-round, just like waiting Dr. Yun Keller the talk. So in actual fact, all the things that were happen in America, we see how Donald Trump been the use in power, supreme power. Black man not for talk. Now under President Donald Trump, we see them kill black man. The whole America shake was trembled. Yes. And just that action will take place in America, it shake the entire America, it shake the world. So that's that same team that they go all around, Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter. We cannot alone. We see what happened at Pademba Road. We condemn them as an organization. We see what happened at McKinney. We condemn them as an organization. Then you see Sierra Leoneans on the social media. They support what happened at Pademba Road. They support what happened at McKinney, the killing of their own Sierra Leonean brothers and sisters. I am very sure those individuals might have relatives at Pademba Road, unknowing to them. Now, one day when they go sit down a family meeting, something come up say, "Oh, now your brother be there and that." Make you only take and say, "We are all one brother, one sisters." But if we not mean well for we self, who's are we the head for? We see a clear indication. The Pademba Road and the McKinney saga. People that they grab on social media, men and kill them. Men and kill them. Not to mama burn them. That was the time we came up, we say, for God's sake, we police them who not get any other and resources for quell down tension, rioters, now for use live bullets. Just like my case. Recently, where police OSD officers then go beat me up mercilessly. Probably it might be next, then for don't talk, kill me. Simple correction say, why would they run so? They begin abuse me. So I say, God now go cause me. Just that word why I use, then beat me up mercilessly, then boat me. And these were officers, not to say na junior officers.
Mm-hmm.
Not to even junior officers. That they tell me you to Usa with the head for. It's like we police, they're not the land lesson. We see what happened in Nigeria recently. Mm. Then kill police, then they're not see all their situations. Just an armless person. And they go buy telephone card. Short trustees now waiting in a mirror, just paper. then they go pull and train for beat me up, for God's sake. Is that the type of country where we want for Mama Salone? Are they kind police and then we want for Mama Salone? No. So all these situations then that make the even see the police, all they contribute to the bad governance of President Bio. And President Bio need to speak up.
That is the problem right there, Mr. Allen. President Bio needs to speak up because the impact of a president is very, very important. When a president speaks, what he speak and what he do, because the country people have to feel safe. Like how you say, you not do nothing just because they have power, and we have seen it. We see recently where the forest guard then go misbehave, and the police then go beat people, then scatter people, broke people the house. Where the policeman then come, they go misbehave and do all things, and nothing is coming out of all these behaviors.
Madam Fadima, let's ask one question. The forest guard issue work out inside. You know, what be the government in a school? They say the police and they're responsible for internal security, safety, internal aggression, and then they for handle. But now, if the police know to the nana forest guard, and because what we see with the forest guard, it's like the forest guard they empower even the police. It's like the forest guard and the police and they fight each other now.
Yes.
So who that now they prosecute Salone? So now that make you see Salone, they can't where they go. There is anarchy everywhere, chaos everywhere. So what that for rely on? Police they don't go beat me. If something they output me, I go wrong, go to police. No. Because police are becoming like enemies to the public, to the Sierra Leoneans, to peaceful Sierra Leoneans. And if they are becoming enemies to Sierra Leoneans, who they expect to guard and protect life and property, we know we'll go to them. Now they only contribute for President Bio in bad governance. Yes. All the situation what they see in the Apple, Madam Fadima, me people them, na Salone. When you investigate from A to Z, police are involved. How can you imagine, and that make I get for even talk with the Minister of Defense and the CDS. If Dennis Sandi, why one broke us na soldier man they go take, who's part that they na the law? Courts now for give order for broke us. Why not Dennis Sandi for go take soldier man they for go broke us? If they give bad name to the military. Yeah. And that make the plan for do is a letter to the Minister of Defense and the CDS. It is wrong. Because at the end of the day, he is just a minister. He don't get power over them, then soldier man them. Soldier man then get a code of conduct, then get a code of practice, then get a mandate. Now police then they in charge for handle internal issues. But for God's sake, when then the Sandi one go broke people the whole then, now soldier man they take with gun for go intimidate people then, drag people then at the land, they go put the state land. By the time you know which they see and say they don't sell and give somebody else. That's so one go on.
And that is the big
tomorrow where another government come, they land they all then go take them back now then people they earn. Believe me, that is what is happening.
Yeah,
now that's
a cycle.
Because the country now they not tit for tat. Now that make beaucoup people they not the worry. When they go take it, no worry, see don't it's any young government will come. This is what they are saying. With the area every day. So if then decided no way they can do, he knows a similarly way they do so, then go turn again. I shall say he go sit down and do the right thing and be a professional.
But then like I say, you get for certain environment that is conducive for all. Everybody get for feel say President Biona then president, and you get a handful of people, a pocket of people inside President Bio with a name like Dr. Dennis Sandina one, where a name don't come up repeatedly for misbehavior and abuse of power, but yet President Bio still keep on there. I don't know what they wait for, because like I can say, I have so much, I don't vote for President Bio. I know one day they into Salone politics for votes and all that in the day. But when it came, I had hope. I say, okay, God don't put on there and it don't can they can't change it. They can't make the wrong them rights the wrongs of the past and fix it. And I ask them the question, where will your name be written? Where do you want your name to be written? Do you want your name to be written on the sands of the Atlantic Ocean where the wave go come and wash them away? Or do you want to be on the Lion Mountain where you forever look back, Iski go say, this is the president that make the change for the right direction where he say they can make. And the letter then, whether they appoint them people, they say, it pleases the president. If it pleases the president, so should it unplease the president for take out them people here come out. This loyalty to party, this loyalty and all this stuff when they do, we get for do better because the people of America spoke. Remember that. Remember the people of America. It was the people. When people get up, when people say we have had enough, this is the result. And you want to be a two-term president. I can always say, President Bill, do right by the people. When you take care of the needs of the people, you don't even have to campaign. No matter who say you there, whether you there, Democrat, Republican, APC, SLPP, Independent, people then they can't vote for you because they say you recede to their interest. You know, people are misbehaving. Some people, they get power, they go crazy. I mean, it is not a good thing to President Bill in image. It is not making him look good. And my frustration with President Bill is his silence. His continuous silence where, you know, they address issue. Because if you ignore something, I mean, say, no, it is there. It is there. Just like how you say, it is so polarized. It is so crazy on social media. It is so evil. You think there's no good left in the world when you hear when they at the throat and they charm one another and kill one another out there on social media. But we hear nothing from the president. We have a first lady where we get problem with too. Where Mickey Column, not Donald Trump of Sierra Leone. Because she just talks sometimes, you know, and not even think what she talk. She just say that, and those are the things that will make President Bill not look good. Yes, you're not the first lady, we're active, we're young, we all know. But there are things that I can say the way where you talk and present and respect to the people. People are like, you know, guarantee for you to respect them. Talk to them like they're not human, they're part of the process. Even if you don't do make condition where people are able to provide for themselves, we get dignity. The elections of United States of America, Mr. Shilon, sir. You know, Mr. Allen.
Well, there are one or two other things about the election of the United States, which just take place then this year. That also, the other lesson for learned from this election are the importance of voting. Mm-hmm. Because never have we seen a clear evidence of the power of voting as we just see recently. Because in all, between President Trump and the president-elect, there was a total of, when it's all over, it will be almost 150 million people who voted when it's all over, because there's some counting going on. But now, the analysis here is when people in Kinchok say, oh, I'm not going to go vote, because my vote no matter, or my vote no count. People don't even realize for say, when you say that, not that you want to think that way. Other people don't think the same way. So if 5, 10, 100, 200, 500 people, 5,000 people think that way, before you know it, you don't get to be a large number, will go influence the outcome. But imagine if we not get this large turnout of the other party for overcome that of President Trump. Then, and this man get over 70 million people who vote for him. Then we'll have ended up with him, not because not necessarily the people they want, but because young people take seriously the elections and then go and then vote. So the only reason why the result go the other way is because we all take things seriously. We know say that voting day will life depend on them. So it show we once and for all why people put aside things and go vote, because that vote they make a difference. It's not enough to say, well, not the vote. If you two people in the run, you know, like the two, still pick who's one lesser evil and vote for them, because one of them get for be your president. So in that sense, I am so grateful that we learned the lesson of why we should vote, you know, because we'll be going the wrong direction. If there is no telling what will have become of America the next 4 years if this election had gone the other way. One can only imagine. So, and the lesson, and if we president them back home begin look past themselves, they will realize, say, when they kind of power, now for improve the system, not to for weaken the system, so themselves can have power for as long as they want.
Long as want to. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if they can do that one day, look at the American, because there's a lot to be learned from this American election. They tell you what the rule of law can do, you know, even if a president runs for skewed the system, or but unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, I don't know if anything can be learned or will be learned. Some things can be learned, but I don't think if anything will be learned from what we just see happen in America. Because we get a system in Sierra Leone still, like I say, the judiciary, for example, they're talking about Minister Sandy. How a minister get the power for go and broke a structure? What are that also not? No minister in any country where there's a rule of law, forget a power there. How did it happen in Sierra Leone? Why the current government, even this man was under the previous government too. Why they think say that could benefit a government, I do not understand. Isn't that where the court system exists? If the Minister of Lands no gets, if you not approve of certain things, if we take people into court, we get a situation where in Australia now, a minister had to step into private dispute between private people and for land and make a decision and call for a minister get the ability for take people in land, declare them as government land, and then undeclare them as private land by selling it to somebody else. I mean, how is that happening with system? And this Minister Sandy, this is not a disappointment. This is supposedly a PhD holder, but he has no idea how much it will destroy the country by taking from one group of people and giving another group of people all by himself. And the president is there and letting him get away with this, and he's been doing this for a long, long time. But under normal circumstances, he should never, ever have such power. And don't forget the power for condemn. Only the court should be able to condemn a piece of property. He should never have the power for declare or for take away. So all of this is going on, but I don't know where the current government thinks well, first of all, I don't know who's in the head with this, but I don't know how it is good for the country. So one last thing, Sierra Leone, we need to look at the way other countries and the govern themselves now, African countries, like Ethiopia, like Tanzania, and some other countries then, where the rule of law is holding ground as to how, because only when you get stability will there be progress, you know, only when you get that. So I am not so sure. But one last comment I need to make on the comment that was made about the Minister of Housing. It seems like he's after a particular group of people, mostly people who are property owners in the Western area. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't know what part of the country Mr. Sandy grew up, but you can tell, say, he gets this inbuilt bias for a certain group of people. And to some extent, that bias, the borders on tribalism. He needs to stop it because it does him no good, it does the country no good, it does President Bio no good. You cannot come in a Freetown just because you get power. You trample on people and property rights. And I think everybody, whether you share the same tribe with Mr. Sandy, for condemn such behavior, because it's short-sighted. Nobody benefits from it at the end of the day, you know? And so lawlessness, and you see, lawlessness, not a thing where one group for be given the right for practice. And nobody will ever expect that a PhD holder with a doctor title before a name, they engage in vandalism, in thuggery, And the president keeps such a person in cabinet. Unless he carry an agenda out for the president, such behavior should never be tolerated. You know, a minister not get no business for being involved. That's why he has staff. He should not be heard, let alone be seen, engaging in that kind of thing here. So we are making all the social commentaries, but if the government thinks they're heading in the right direction, this is short-sighted. Anybody with any degree of intelligence.
That is not the right direction, because the people
it is totally the wrong direction.
Represented by their president, and these people that are doing what they're doing, and the president not they talk nothing, and not
they do it in the name of the BO government.
Yes, it's the BO government. Just like Mr. Allen say rightfully, when they be left President Koroma, if they left him minister, and they do all kinds of things. Now one going to take the fall, because it is his government. He's a leader and a good leader thing. But before we take calls, the phone lines are open. With people them when I can call in. President Bill tweet on the wing of the President Biden, the President-elect Biden. It said, "Congratulations to the 46th President-elect of the United States of America, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. This winning is historic. Sierra Leone looks forward to a more strengthening relationship." So President Bio don't congratulate them. They say they look for strengthening the relationship. And two no say they don't suspend. We for say we're not gonna get visitor, then they know they give visa, they know they get waiting. Well, sometimes now, and all that kind of thing, and we get for do the right thing, then the president get for do the right thing, then by the people. You get for include the people. You cannot go deaf and dumb by the people then. You get for listen to the cry of the people. You get for make the people feel say they're relevant, whether they voted for you, because the message with Joe Biden is saying right now, whether you vote for me, I am your president, I am the president of the United States, is something that if talk up say it mean it do, because when you don't do what you say, the people are going to vote you out. Except with Salone they get cooked by election. But if election they run, like how we for one, people are not happy. Some of the things that go on, look at Mr. Allen. Mr. Allen, 2 weeks ago, they beat her up the police for nothing, because he just said one word, they're not like. Because I say something where you're not like, then you for come beat me because you get power. Then beat him to the point, and you take the grace of God for letting all they under 6 feet now. If you not see, he still get a bandage in their face. That is abuse of power. And that is why people that were there at the administration, we get departmental heads, they're not doing anything. They don't go making reports them. And they wait. They're still, this not 2 weeks ago, nobody, still these people are at work, then they work, then they get paid. Still, then they get paid, then they get work, then they get paid. This is why I say I don't have stomach for foolishness. When it comes to business, let us do business. One strike you have, we get for doing to the thing. That's why I can say we need a radical shift. We need a radical leader. A radical leader will say you get for team up, not a dictator, but you get for stand there, and everything gotta be, every T gotta be crossed and every I be dotted the right way. I cannot think. That's why they say some people say they need a woman now. Maybe Sierra Leone need a woman because they don't advocate for that bill where the parliamentarian and joint parliamentarian or unanimous bill where them pull say they want 30% or more of women. Then maybe we need a woman president. We need women now for labor and because don't make history. And we get today, before I forget, my sister, Madam Salome Hines, when one of the VOS contributors, them where they do the health show, when I present her today birthday, just say happy birthday, my sister. Wishing you many, many more years of God's blessings, God's peace, and many more wonderful years ahead of you. Good health. Cheers to you. Cheers. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. So let's take the caller before we come back to we panelists them. Caller them on a call. This now on a voice of Sierra Leone. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, caller. waiting are you name, who shall you call from, and waiting you want talk about, waiting are the lesson where you learn from American election, waiting Salone go learn, President Bio go learn. Okay, they say we lost the call. Okay, well then we'll call back anyway. So anybody else get anything for add for this?
Yes, Madam Fadima.
Yes, Mr. Yes.
We'll just round up on this Minister of Lands. If you remember, if people then go back to memory lane, during the time of the late President Tijan Kabal, one of the factors that will be responsible for SLPP lost that election day to APC 2007. One of the factors that was responsible, commonly they call him Bob Sinsise Brokos. It was because of the Minister of Lands by then. He was almost fond of doing the same thing when he do so. So I don't know if then people there they forget say some of them things they're very, very important and get for sensitive issues. But if then they pay attention to all that things and they are nothing say it mean well for President Bio. Just like what they say for President Bio. When President Bio win the election, the first thing will come to mind will be always related to John Magufuli. Since he get a military background and those who are military people, they are very disciplined. So we all expect say President Bio for actually enforce full discipline. It not means when somebody discipline a cruel somebody. Maybe somebody not misinterpret me. A discipline somebody not possibly believe in principle. Simple as that.
Yeah.
Principle and system. And this was what we were expecting from President Bio. But from when President Bio take over to date, a lot of things they go wrong. And onto President Bio, this is where we sabi when he was a military leader for just 3 months. He was more constructive. He was more dedicated. I mean, when you watch those videos, we've been there as 3 months president, head of state, to date, they compare anything a day. Now that make the last day I do a submission to and say, no, you got to change his speech writers. Those who are writing the speech of the president, you need to fire them. They really need to fire them because you're not going to be so crazy. You don't go write 30 pages speech for president for go read. For what? Are you crazy?
Yeah. I have said
now they all they above the president. They want the right president speech. Now they hamburger. Now I make a tell on the last time say you got for changing speech writers. Those who are writing because you didn't even see the president when they read the speech. You not even get a accommodating face.
Yes.
The face. Just watch the face of the president. Because the president remember now say all them boku pages them. Is it that they want to embarrass him? I don't know. But honestly, President Bio need to fire some of those guys.
I agree with that 100% because I have said it privately to people that are close to him. I have said it. I've sent a message to him, the president, because when they're writing speech for him, he is not even present, and because it's not coming from his heart, they come up from his heart, in guts. The message is even lost in there. It's just like a person. He's not present in a lot of this. Taking command. Yes, it is not taking command. It is like it is not coming from him, but it just get for Sam for please people. That's how it comes across. For people that will know about speech writing and speech giving and all communications, when you do those speeches, when you speak, you gotta own it. He is not owning those things, and it is not coming from the heart. When not come from the heart, you just read somebody else's ideas.
Yeah.
And then
of the things I think, I agree with you. I think waiting with they do so every Sierra Leonean, I think this time around, not a gun will get for play with. Any opportunity Sierra Leonean get, at least we get for begin.
Okay, just promoting a sister there. Happy birthday again. Cheers to you, my sister. Salome, many, many more to come, celebrations. But yes, we're talk on something really. And I remember there was a time I sent a message, I inboxed one of the ministers them. And I was like, when he be the talk now when they call he don't have I mean, a soldier stands strong. I'm expecting this thing. And when he first came into office, he did the unannounced inspection. I was like, yes. That's when I was just saying, good. People are going to begin earn their money. People are going to begin doing what they're supposed to do. From after that 10 day, he never did none of that stuff no more. Everything just go. I don't know if they tell us, say, me man, sit down or not go begin go friend people they blabber. Because we know that people don't go to work on time, don't do the work with them for do, don't they, but they're getting paid. They're getting paid, and that they all in government money in afford waste and abuse, you know. So it is very, very, very discouraging when you see stuff like that. And all we they ask the government is provide an environment that is conducive where the people are able to thrive and become the best. That's all we want. We don't want much. Just let the people be able to thrive. And the conditions of where Usai Salone there now, and the kind where people and they go and beat people them because they need a power, nobody, people they afraid for talk, people they make the hypocrisy, the lawlessness, and then the social media don't make it any better. They make it any better. And then the people that they pay to speak for the president and do the stuff and all that kinds of things, they're not doing their jobs either. We've been drowned by negative all the time on social media. Fighting each other, cussing each other. Oh my God, I don't even contribute too much over there too much because it's even training. Let me take the caller, please. Good evening, caller. Name, please, and who's you call from? Hello, caller. What's your name? Who's they call from?
Katie, they call from Massachusetts.
Okay, that person in voice, they crack. The line is not clear.
Can you hear me
Hello?
now?
You're kind of broken, my sister. It's like a female voice.
Yes, I am a female. Can you guys hear me?
No, you're not clear. We can hear you broken.
All right, I'm going to call you guys back.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you, my sister. Yes, sir. Mr. Shilon, look like you get for add anything.
Oh no, I really wasn't going to add anything because I'm fully in agreement. But sometimes you just left, then just can left we in abeyance or in a state of confusion because I can always say for run government it's not easy. So it seems like the primary motivation why people go into politics back home, particularly, because the sole motivation for serve. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't seem like that's the motivation. I think the motivation is to enrich oneself because are not necessarily for serve and improve the condition of the people. Because if we are that serious about improving and serving the people, we will see noticeable changes then each time one government come and another government go. But we just get this notion, say democracy means just election. You know, we practice democracy by conducting an election. But democracy entails a lot of stuff, a lot. And just of which elections are just a little part of them. Mm-hmm. But there's so many things we get for do in a government for help the people. So, and the other bad part about some of the things they want to see besides now, but I think we're going to get to that because I don't know if we're going to get to the free.
Yeah, we can go to our next.
Because I just want to talk about the involvement of the army and the police. But I rather hold that so I can just address the issue there once and for all, because I see them participating, helping the mayor for do some manual stuff.
Yeah.
So I would rather talk about that. But so far, I think we would all point out a lot of flaws or
Well,
practices, whether they help the government, you cannot get why this one minister, they act in a vigilante way. They act above the law. I mean, you cannot get a country where judges don't have any power. Nobody can subdue this man. He can ignore court orders. I mean, if that's how they want to run the country, well and good. But it's not a good thing. It's not going to take the country anywhere, because what is to stop it?
Brother Shilon, this same minister was a minister of lands under President Nkrumah, and he was summoned in parliament, and he refused to go. By then, the majority leader, I think the majority leader of the speaker, the majority leader was Eddie Toure. It was because of the confusion between Eddie Toure himself and that of the Minister of Lands. I know, because there were several issues, a lot of fighting. The guy refused to go to parliament when he was summoned. So this is not just today. He has started it way back in the days of APC.
And the system cannot ring him on. They cannot send
I don't know.
a bench warrant for your arrest. Well, this is the thing.
And my brother, let me draw your attention to something that is affecting Sierra Leone. That is why I always say we need a judicial, or we need a legislative or a judicial council. A judicial council will be there. These are guys who will be recruiting or hiring judges and the Chief Justice. The city president must not appoint the Chief Justice, neither the judges, because you're not the best at finger away the feed you. Oh yes, I hire you, so you do what I ask you to do. The same thing with the Inspector General of Police. They should also have a security council that are not political connections. But now, the president appointed IG. So what do you expect from the IG? Power from above. The president appoints several other people, like the ACC boss is appointed by president as well. Tell me, if the president is interested in a particular case, there's all likely tendency that he will just call the ACC, hey, I'm interested. And that will be the end of it. So there are several things, there are several legal implications when it comes to even the human capacity of our institutions. So you see, so all that we need to take a look at them. That is why we need a serious review of our laws. We remember, say, just the late Justice Kawambi do this constitutional review. And it was the same SLPP where pursue APCC, therefore consider that report. And today SLPP is in power. Why then can they not still bring that report on the table for me to try for an actor?
Well, the question is, what we prioritize? What are we priority? That the question, and do we prioritize
for now? Now, commission of inquiry and the white paper.
What do we prioritize? Because for us to grow, we get for prioritize what is important, what are the needs, immediate needs of the people.
But Madam Fatima, I think the CRT is very important. Therefore, we put a priority there, because most of the time when they happen in the country not correct. The laws are complicating each other, and where there is no law, my sister, believe in me, we see there is chaos, anarchy, and that make every day they face chaos. Every day. After they go, so law amend this. But let will get a whole law being reviewed, put them in place, enact them. But every day also law amend 1964 Public Order Act. No, do a robust review of we lost them. We know the laws were done by the late President Joseph Saidu Momo. Even though people were frowning at that law, they say, about the manual land book. But I mean, it better do your part. When they want the now land book, they don't can the non-book, why they not able to do a review of the laws?
Okay, so we'll not talk about good thing now. We don't talk the bad side. No talk some good thing there now. Okay, we'll get a caller. Good evening, caller. Name, please. Who side the call from? I think we'll get problems with online.
On my side, I call from Indian in a Balansana. Now we got 3 a.m. in the morning.
I hear you too well.
They say they call from India.
I know what we. Waiting, I try and talk again. Let me hear you, please. I think the connection.
I call from Indian. I say good morning on you. side because I'm at 4 a.m. now in the morning.
Lanzana Jale calling from India. Lanzana Jale.
England or India.
Okay, England or India.
Yes,
India.
Indian, Balance Sama calling from Indian.
Okay, go ahead, Baransama. Yeah, okay, go ahead, sir.
Yes, ma. Thank you. First of all, I appreciate this program. VOS, I think it reached the whole world. And I'm glad you know the program in Creole, it mix in English. I pray that this program will be like broadcast, simulcastly. Maybe like when I join some radio local stations and a Salone, or then we go online and connect on a program, let the people and the follow and a Sierra Leone. Because this program is mostly for Sierra Leoneans, them for more learn on with national politics and international politics or issues surrounding around the globe. Just like when I say on a topic today on America election, I think say in Africa or Sierra Leone as a whole, we get a lot for learn from that election, especially we leaders them. Because now we leaders them waiting in a campaign on when they go into power or then go in a state house, totally forget waiting them in a campaign. Maybe when they go and try for change. The problem with leadership in Africa, they not get continuity. When they come, they meet this government, don't do this, then they for just disrupt them and start the all over. So by the time they start all over, 1 year, 2 years, don't waste. Maybe in the next third year, they begin to say, okay, we do this. Before we president take over, he talked say they build Lunge Bridge. Now 30 the Lunge Bridge not start. He meets a whole international airport project they on. He cancel that project they. Nothing like that need to go on. We want game airport where we get, you need to encourage a lot of like transit points. We are in the country, we make a lot of money. So all these things not just words. And just like also I don't analyze. Donald Trump lose this election because of you know, they follow waiting and they tell them it just they do things on their own. And we leaders in Africa today, especially the country Sierra Leone, that's what they see. Now they didn't take social media for do their own, leadership. Something happen at the country, then they come out and give a national policy or national statement or give a rumors on waiting to happen. So then just they follow in the political line or in the party line. We are in they are not favoring nationalism. We are in they put the country first. Then just they put them party first for defend them party and other thing. Just like we don't analyze in America, in India, Naya, politics they play, but nothing like democracy they exist. We are in say the Prime Minister Narendra Modi, he don't be in power for the past 10-15 years. He starts as a chief minister, he be chief minister one time, he be chief minister 2 times, then now he don't be prime minister. And if we all the look around the globe, Narendra Modi now in the act as the president and everything are Indian. Indian gets a president, but it's very dormant. We are in a Modi to do everything. So that they tell you say democracy not they all over the world in 100%. But if you the people you the leader where them vote in, you the work in the interest of the people I think say that now the best democracy we all the yearn for. Sierra Leone is a small country of 7 million population. The state where they are Indian, the population the double Salone more than 3 times. Then Tamil Nadu states when Chennai then get past 15 million or 20 million population when I one great state. So if you look around, the local people they do things on their own when they look up into government. The government they do their best when they make sure they satisfy the people and to what they want. Electricity is constant, water supply is constant, people are cooperating because they know say the government work on their interest. But Sierra Leone when they see that, when see them go in power, then just say, okay, now this now we new direction, now this will they follow. Waiting you don't meet on ground. Try for say this is on the interest of the nation. Let us see how best we can work on this, how best we go develop this thing. But nothing like that is going on. What they do now for go on social media, especially like on a talk with First Lady. Initially, we all surprised at her. She's very vibrant, she's a young lady, she's elegant, so we expect much from her. We are in, we go no say, you go come up with a lot of change and try for putting them in place. The president just dormant. He need to talk on issues where they happen. He just they talk on policies that when he want to do. We don't want to see that. We want to see a total change in Sierra Leone. So please, as I say, I recommend that this broadcast will be simulcast in Sierra Leone. Una try to connect with various radio stations them wherein people are going to get this information and going to all politicians are accountable. Look at the status now. Then just suspend 2 honorable men. Then tell them say they are no more called honorables. Why on earth? Well, because they say corruption day inside parliament. So with corruption day inside parliament, don't need for talk then for talk because they want change, because they put the nation first. So please, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
I always follow this program from Indian. As I tell you, my time now 4 a.m.
Yes,
as I sleep or I wake up, I always a twin toner for I know waiting they go on around the globe. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much, my brother. We appreciate you too. Your voice matters. This is not the voice of Salone. And I know say we day on the process. Viewers, you don't tell they pa this waka waka and Mr. Alan there and one of the people there the waka waka for try for puts together many people then go to get the message. I know say they don't work on one radio station, but I don't know waiting at the progress how did they go. But we will get to that. Anybody get
we still work on that with IMC. Very soon we will left IMC, they will go NATCOM because IMC now will give the green light to NATCOM for giving.
Okay.
But we almost down it to the tail end now.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. So we'll get the other callers. We can take them first.
Yep.
Because caller, good evening, name please, and who side you call from? Hello, caller. Good evening. What's your name and who side you call from? Okay, we don't lost them back. Something is wrong with our phone lines today, but it's okay. We una brother una want add anything before we go to the mayor. Let we talk on good things that are happening in Sierra Leone and progressive thing that where they happen, where they bring forth good vibe among the people, new jobs for people, some people go get for working on.
Well, once you impress me what they happen at Salone, because this is my area, since me a private sector person as well. The government don't do a policy for introduce a national microfinance scheme. And this one more especially they target women the more, even though men can as well access the same opportunity, but women they're not the target. I was very impressed with that because I take a look at the concepts properly, and as you say, there's reality in it. Because me, is I hardly believe in politicians, but I don't follow up this trend of this project. Government they start with 22 billion where they put na the kitty for loan purposes with a single digit. We all know as Salone said the commercial banks are not been on the help with business, the indigenous Sierra Leone business people, neither they will mammy them. Because when you go take loan a bank, then go take about 29% interest rates, then go take about 30, 35. And in fact, then we even tell you about the collateral, say forget us, you forget 4 or 5 motuka. For God's sake, somebody will go if you get denting and they all no need for leg on a bank for go loan. So all these were all stumbling blocks and barriers for help with Sierra Leonean people and for going to business. And that make way take a look at Salone, Indians and Fullers, the Lebanese, now they did business in high standard business then because Sierra Leoneans they not get access to loan. But where Lebanese man go then go get a loan. Where foreigner go then go get a loan. Where this person go then go get a loan. What about the Sierra Leoneans? So this has been the struggle of the Sierra Leonean business people, the indigenous business people. But now we don't see say government don't decide for put some money in an account and with a single digits, either 9%, because government are not interested in actual fact. That percentage not just for help the institutions, the way they go for help for facilitate. Not the government go for actually give the money directly. Government they engage with them financial institutions then.
So then they guarantee they're the guarantors of the loan.
Yeah, like
kind of like that.
Exactly.
They guarantee the loan.
So there will be existing private sector financial institutions. It can be in a bank them, but we as a nation, we they expect to their institutions and then we they go. Then government they give them their own conditions. Okay. How them for execute their money there. So actually, I don't follow up this trend. I don't follow up this trend. As you say, it's a very good one. And the Minister of Trade, because I mean area that, I mean discipline, that make a very, very interested in the whole thing. I talked with the Minister of Trade, and I see very serious about that because I even asked and say, I hope this will not be political. He's somebody who not even believing in politics. He said this money now, even interest more on the north side, because even they come from the south, but he interest on the north. So to they ask us, I hope say this will not be political. Whereas because now some people will say no, this like I go first in the village, but this is cut across the nation. Each district will get a young quota. Each district will get a young quota equally.
Well, that is good because
this is a good name. This is a good name.
Say we don't have
an opportunity
business.
go for appreciate.
Yeah. We don't get business people, we get petty traders in Frisia. We don't get business. Like how you say, now the Lebanese, they get big business. We have petty traders, a lot of petty traders, and then they go help for make them thrive, then they go help. That is very, very good. That is very, very good news. So let's go to a caller, then I can play the mayo and stuff. I don't know if Mr. Salone gets anything for that. Okay, now take a caller, please. Caller, good evening, name, please.
Hello?
And who's you from? Yes, please. Go ahead.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I am so proud of you, what you need to do.
Thank you, my sister. Thank you.
It is just amazing.
Thank you. We dey try now. Una they listen to me.
Yeah,
Thank you.
it is. I did listen to what other people and when they come on and they talk about Mother Bio and in cabinet and in government in Sierra Leone. There is nothing a president they do, neither the leader, where the people them, where they work for them, where Mother Bio no know about. There is nothing surprising which Mother Bio they do. That's not Mother Bio. This is who Mother Bio is. It's not surprising. What they happen in Sierra Leone, the killing. Somebody not for talk the truth. Somebody not for say anything. You know, there's no freedom of speech. Not Sierra Leone anymore. When you say something true, then they beat you. Either they kill you or they beat you. It is just sad the way Sierra Leone don't they with Mother Bio. It's not surprising. There's nothing in cabinet they do where Mother Bio don't know about. Mother Bio know what they go on. Mother Bio not the saying of everything what they go on at Sierra Leone today. It's not a surprising thing. Say now so Sierra Leone get for end. Now so Sierra Leone they end with Mother Bio in government. When Nigeria policemen they kill people in Nigeria, all Nigeria people then come out and stand. The world know about it. Let Sierra Leone people then come over and try to stand for waiting Mother Bio in government they do to Sierra Leone people. They all go die because that's what they do right now. And human, I can't even start talking about human. Human are opportunists. It was past Mother Bio. Then they destroy the country. Then they destroy Sierra Leone. Then they destroy, then they make, then they fix. Then they destroy. Not destroy, then they destroy. They see a good building, then they destroy them. For what? Which reason? Which they tempt them for let them do things them? They send in tug them for let them go destroy things them. Where people then go say, oh look Sierra Leone, look how Sierra Leone amazing. You see, I look at the Sierra Leone and the Sierra Leone won't maybe know where I grow up, how amazing Sierra Leone been there. So now the most sad thing I ever see, sometimes in Kinect, you see, they cry. I say, why people and choose this man to become the president of Sierra Leone? When they know who than this man, when they know what this man capable of doing, then they go choose him as the president of Sierra Leone. We all expect this from him. We don't expect any less from him. This is what we expect from him. And it's sad if Sierra Leone people are not trying to stand, like people, example like you, where they say the truth, where they talk the truth. So power. People of Sierra Leone. You know, that's we want. Now those type of people we need. Where they talk truth to the people of Sierra Leone. Where they talk the truth to the people them, where they destroy Sierra Leone. Then they govern in the Sierra Leone, then they destroy the place.
Okay, I think your time don't go off. You don't pass. You don't get 3 minutes and a little bit over. This is the most good thing about this platform as the voice of Sierra Leone. We allow every Sierra Leonean for kind of speak in mind, within in our mind, within our opinion, because we believe say this is like the form of close to the form of democracy where everybody gets the right for choose what I want, for say what you want, as long as we do it with respect and dignity. This is what we do on Voice of Sierra Leone. Thank you so much. Another caller is on the line. Good evening, caller. I don't know, we get some problem with the line, they say. But caller, good evening.
Hello.
What's your name? Yes, please go ahead, sir. What's your name and what's you call from?
Mina Abbas Kamara, they call from Spain.
Yes, Mr. Kamara, go ahead, sir. My brother.
Just like what the previous caller, they say, all the what thing that happen, Salone, the president, know, he aware and he support. But they feel say, Madabio feel say na inge Salone. You know, ever feel say election get for come back. And we not believe man, the people them, where they hide and they inside the bag, where they see, and then they see, but they hide no they. Because anybody watch that man there, you see Madabio in face, you know, wherever choose him for be president of Sierra Leone. Because it was the way in where they talk safe. Instead for don't come out, he condemn. In where they get the bold mind in the Canada, they talk say the true Sierra Leone na the way na SLPP supporter. How somebody they come out and talk them kind of statement, then they nobody no condemn. Instead, everybody they support. And you get one speaker the way they talk say, where then they kill na Pademba Road, then kill na Makini. We get the same Sierra Leone way because not to the young family, then they support back. Then they clap back, then they support the government back. Then they say, we na go kill them. Well, if not with the posing, but if you get forget sympathy, say na Sierra Leone brother. Now your sister then kill so, now your brother then kill so. With all that killing there, the president not say anything. But you see how he get confidence now, he don't go and pick the electoral commissioner so that we elect sorry 2023, then go turn the election back, then make him president. And then make you know worry. Then make Madabio no worry. We say he don't arrange everything. So when election reach, he don't make it. He don't make him way out. Then can just call and now say na the president. But people in Sudan then they wait for the time. But the president for no say not to Inge Salone. Not to in one green guest alone, now the people then, now they vote for them, and they not be expect this, now this he go do them. So now I go stop for now. I'll tell you thank you.
Thank you so much, my brother. Mr. Allen, you waiting people then say, two people don't say, two caller they don't say, the president no, waiting most of them people then they do. What you would say, because I know so you don't get experience and you don't get one-on-one conversation with them. So what
yes, well, people then get right to their opinion for say president is aware because like waiting me with me experience, maybe on the ground, and I have to be very careful of statement they want to make. I'm legally minded to that. I'm not going to make any allegation against somebody where I not get evidence. And as I say, people then get right to their opinion. If you say president aware, fantastic and fine. But me, I've been get an experience some time back where Madam Fadima used to say, you've been in moderated program during that transit, that impressed financial bill or something. Where me, I think and P. Thomas or somebody, where maybe say president was not aware of that bill because president they preach transparency and accountability. So if they say the impress, they're not for audits, the impress or whatsoever, and not forgetting the limits, I said that not to President. I challenged that issue there. I said President Bio is not aware of this. And he was out of the country. And where he can, what happened? We see where he refused to sign the documents. And I did make another show. They say President Biogo refused to sign that document because he's not aware of it. You see, one thing we would not forget now, Africa with it. You see, not to everybody you appoint as minister or as director or somebody near you, you feel say it mean well for you. There are people around you, then just one can't damage you because then they envisage your power, or maybe they one can't sit outside you sit down. So now that makes you see most of the time I can be very careful for castigate President Bio. Yes, he's the president. He's supposed to be aware of waiting they happen. But if you're not aware, you're not aware. But always I can look for give an opportunity for make it come out and tell the public, say, yes, I'm not aware of this. If you not come out because they say silence means consent. So they may have I continue to be silent means he's aware of waiting they happen. Because if he is the president, he's supposed to know of every single thing where they happen in the country. But again, as they say, President Bio need for speak out. President Bio need for sit up. He has to. If he actually really mean well for Mama Salone, and people need to look out for him. And the people out there need President Bio. We all see President Kuruma, and in time, now one can drive. If they drive, if they go Swazi, if they go Pisa, if they go to all them places then. Unknowing, unnoticed. That is the type of president we want now. President Bio, now that's for do. But people do not make President Bio just like a Kadebo. They don't dress and go keep her on the calabash. No. They need to be friendly with the people. Now the people they vote for us.
The people.
You see? I mean, because nobody knows they see the president. Then don't go hide President Bio on the calabash. No. Once on the white President Bio, no need for come and say today to go Swazi. Today to go PZ. Today I go see people in a Mamba Point. I go see people in a Dove Court. Just give them a surprise visit. You know, as a politician, because people they want to feel you. They want to feel your presence around them. But the people them around President Bio, they hide them to a point and they make President Bio become enemy to young people. It is wrong. It is wrong. So we continue to call on President Bio, say, he need to come out. He is in the shackle. They not put her in the shackle, and he has to come out.
Well, that is a sad situation, because we want the president for able for relates to the people, because people were interactive beings. They talk, we like for deal with people. Then he say, I like reaching money, but when you reaching people, all things.
When Shakib in there, I not got to when Shakib in there as president. Me Shakib shake me, I go to my school. Now I ask me what you want to do. I say I want to be president like you. Hey, laugh, say laugh. Those days Shakib they go school to school, they go to them different places. As a president, interact with your people them. Look, this guy in Uganda, where they call you Yoweri Museveni. Every Wednesday is just like in daily number schedule, weekly schedule. If they identify one school, then they go cook there, they go sit down with the school picking and I field. Eat with them, So now there's all the school, you don't get the parents of the school. So now that made the guy they always vote him in. He's always being voted in because you don't get himself closer to the people, you don't get this particular ceremony where you don't forget the people. Because they talk about on the daily basis whether they're going to host them. So if you picking like the president, then you the parent go say, you go end up, you could be forced for like because you picking, you want please the picking.
Yeah.
And that is not what we are seeing here.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Mr. Salone, anything to add to that, sir?
Well, okay. To some extent, I think what in Mr. Chubokumesiga just mentioned, to me, it's a matter of style between Anis Kuruma and Bio. I mean, I don't think that has, to me, the style of a president in terms of how he relates to the people, that wouldn't bother me as much. But what will bother me is policy implementation. What would you see back home? Because Shaka Stephen was, for example, he get access to the people, but caused a lot of damage to Sierra Leone, what they try to recover from still. You see? And for me as a personal, as just an individual, Stevens never impressed me. He was just too cunning and too vindictive and too irresponsible and too destructive. But he was a simple man. in a lot of sense. I rather deal with a leader, like, ever meet me and what I call, but if you get the right trajectory, you take the country in the right direction, I rather live with a progressive dictator than a liberal, corrupt president. Because this is a million problem, so we have to be careful how we analyzing things. Museveni, well, again, I don't want to turn the show into us opposing each other, but I can just stick with President Bio. For me, I'd impute a lot of problem with President Bio to President Bio. In the president, the waiting in cabinet members and the do, he ought to know.
Yeah.
In law, we say you knew or should have known. It's just like when you drive on the street at 100 miles an hour. You either know, say you go kill somebody.
Yeah.
Or you should have known driving 100 miles an hour in the city, you will kill somebody.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not enough for say, well, I'm not going to say somebody will cross the street where they come at 100 miles an hour. Your common sense for dictate that. So the president is in charge. President Bio in silence is troubling. Where people they see all the terrible things are happening. And in fact, to some extent, you even wonder why the international community not to put more pressure. I still get hard feelings for those poor prisoners, almost 100 of whom were killed for no justification. We can't let those people's soul go to waste like that without bringing into account, and nothing has ever been said. But would it make a whole lot of noise? Equally so, for the killings will take place in the McKinney, which I think we should. Where did we get this proclivity, this desire for just shoot people and we will not agree with them? Isn't that what we condemn in America? What we get irresponsible, racist police in America here? We think say black lives are worth less than a dog in life? Don't we all get outraged? But now we own country with the see people in the drum to other poor people. And I keep saying this. That's why people should be careful about tribalism. The very Pademba Road prison where they go and kill people. They need to check the names of the victims. You go hardly find a Johnson or a Williams or a Jones. It's all Kamara, Kuruma, Conte, this and that. It's the same. We brother that they talk tribalism on the one hand, but they have no regard for the people willing to govern. You see, if they kill you in a McKinney, they amplify it. But if you kill a McKinney Bobo in a Freetown prison, nothing is said. So this, I mean, I would rather stick with just your own thing because I'm telling you.
Can I ask you, Mr. Shilon?
Yes, sir.
I don't know if you ever get somebody in your life where you get complex over or where they shame for.
Oh, plenty.
In your life, generally, do you have somebody that you shy or somebody
plenty,
where
plenty.
you?
I'm growing up, of course.
And when, if, for example, now if you are president, do you think you can bring them people around you?
Oh no!
Fantastic, only there. And that is one of the major problems. That is one factor that is keeping President Bill where he is. He brought in people where at least when they intimidate and in one way or the other, where get complex over, like the so-called chief minister. You know, when I've been lecturing at Bradford, we all know the story how Professor Francis coming from the inception of a job, the transition. We see how vindictive he was. How can he be a transition chairman? Now you know the judge, now they tell you that for good jail, not for good jail without you, not even the judge of the court of the land. So the chief minister is just one factor that is affecting President Bill. And I have said this times without number. So you see, now that make I ask you that question, they say, and President Bill get complex over the chief minister or probably the shame partner. That is why, that is the reason. You see?
Okay.
That's my take, that's my opinion.
Let's take another call, a good conversation here, because when you have portion where you shame pan, you put in a position like they do wrong, you go afraid or feel obligated for waiting and call. Okay, we don't make the call. Let's go to the mayor. Let me go to the mayor. Waiting the mayor. Don't do that. We see they don't open the new city hall, which is a beautiful building donated by the Republic of Korea and other developing partner them when they work together. And the mayor put a video out there that it try for sell what he don't do. It is sell it tell the nation and all who else go listen, because it's good for talk to the people them who you represent, waiting it don't do. So now let's play that video there. Let we relax small bit and listen to good news.
My name is Ivana Kisoya, and I'm the mayor of Freetown. I assumed office in May 2018 with a commitment to work with Freetonians and our stakeholders to ensure that we transformed our city, to ensure that we addressed some of the most challenging problems which have plagued us for decades. We pulled together, we created the Transform Freetown agenda, and on the 24th of January 2019, it was launched. And the keynote address was given by His Excellency the President, retired Brigadier Dr. Julius Matabio. Today, on the occasion of the opening of the new City Hall, we are so excited to share with you the journey that we've been on to transform Freetown. Transform Freetown as an agenda comprises 4 clusters: resilience, human development, healthy city, and urban mobility. And those 4 clusters relate to 11 priority sectors. Within our resilience cluster, Freetown the Tree Town, our commitment to plant 1 million trees and regreen the hillsides of Freetown is underway. In this rainy season, we've planted 450,000 trees, with many of you Freetonians acting as tree stewards and as tree growers. Flooding was a real problem in our city, and in 2018, 2019, and 2020, we're so pleased that we've been able to implement our flood mitigation programs, clearing over 25,000 meters of drainage, over 100 bridges, waterways, and culverts, and ensuring that flooding has been minimized in our city.
So that I feel extremely good, because this is the one step for solve the problem. We see the soldier man them, we see the machine, we see trucks. Council on send a team. That one day alone, even the community people, they appreciate them so much. So one tell the soldier man them, plenty thank you. One tell how worship the mayor and the Freetown City Council, plenty thank you for member with community.
We've also, under our resilience cluster, done work on improving drainage, and with the FERP project in 10 communities, we've built over 1,300 meters of improved widened drainage. And resilience is also about beautifying our city, and Aberdeen Roundabout is testament to that.
These roundabouts, they don't change this community and the country in the whole greatly. Because the way this roundabout be there in the 80s to now, are far different, don't create. And now it don't show a tourist attraction to this country and the community.
I am super excited about the opening of the first of our FCC Early Learning Adventure Centers. These are free, quality, preschool, nursery facilities for the children of market women. And we've opened the first at Congo Water Market in Wellington. The next is coming on at Crutown Road Market, and there are a series to follow.
Today we pikine be the idle and they go under the table. Small pikine. And we market to man they work for council attention more they for business than we pikine. Now call stop in there and I call them be the seller. But now from where the school year come, we picking them. We're glad, really glad what we do for we. The Freetown City Council, the mayor and the police, they will tell them plenty thank you.
Moving beyond preschool, I'm also excited at the investment we've made in our municipal schools. From the old Pambody School, which was the E.B. Williams School and now a concrete building, to the refurbishments and improvements made at Henry Ferguson and Kennedy schools. Our Healthy City cluster is probably where most Freetonians see us every day. We have been able to provide tricycles to 80 youth groups in 2019. These tricycles play a key role in household waste collection.
I did part of the Sustainable Waste Management Project from Freetown City Council. We can collect dirty over 20 to 25 households per day. I will see the dirty number, so we charge the person. If not like small bag, 1,000 loans, that rest bag, 2,000 loans.
And sweeping the streets daily. 68 key streets in the city are now swept, as are our markets. This makes a significant difference to the way Freetown feels, the way Freetown looks, and to all our health outcomes.
It don't benefit me a lot because part of that money that I don't able to sit was, I don't able to get business, why they manage, why they take care of, how they buy me a back, how they sell, how they get profit out of it.
And with the tricycles now collecting waste from households, it's really important that they don't have to travel long distances. That way, they get to collect more from more homes, and it also discourages illegal dumping. So the transfer stations are designed to provide that function. We're really pleased that the transfer stations at Macaulay Street and Kleintown have been completed. There's so much going on with Transform Freetown. We couldn't be doing it without you all. I want to start by thanking Freetonians. This is our collective agenda. This is what we're doing as a city. Thank you to the government of Sierra Leone that partners with us and collaborates on so many of our interventions. Thank you to our development partners, both in country and out of the country. Thank you to our diaspora. Thank you to the government of South Korea for this new building, which will give us the ability to do more, to engage more, and to ensure that the journey to transform Freetown not only continues, but it arrives at the goal that we have set, the transformation of our city.
Well, me people them when I don't see what in the mayor don't do. A woman, a very young woman, not very, very young, but a young woman that is focused, that is disciplined, that is determined to make the change that we need. We know, say, in the beginning, she has been attacked by ministers. She has been attacked. They don't attack her minister. They don't attack them. Then about them. They support her. They don't beat them. They don't wound them. They don't make. But she's still standing and moving, and the focus is transforming Freetown. This is not a good work we don't do. Mr. Shilon, I go to you first, sir.
Okay, so many things here we'll get for touch on. First of all, okay, Mayor Akisoya, I understand, useful Tapna, England. Then he go home. And he get this desire for run for the mayorship because he thinks he can make significant contribution to the well-being of the country, which is what is required of we all. We already left abroad, go back home. We forget bigger and better ideas as to how we want to improve people in life. There is no question that this woman is a progressive thinking woman, because the city council building what we look at, you can compare it to any city council building anywhere in the world, including the United States. Impressive, you know? And these are the kind of ideas and implementation of ideas what where they go back home, where everybody want to go to parliament, these are the kind of ideas for the take back home, for go with grand things that what we don't see for make lives better. But forget about the city council building. Look how she has been able to touch the lives of poor people, like the Makituma and them picking them. When are the future generation? What we get for nurture, opening a more modern school for them picking it for day, give them a matter and the flexibility for selling a market, not for beginning to and take care of small beginning, because these clearly are women who cannot afford a nursery or daycare. How impressive is that? Extremely impressive. This is what a good quality of leadership. This the mayor is the kind of person a president should be looking at, just like what happened with the mayor of Lagos. And in Fashale, where the current president of Nigeria came, he gave the man 3 or 4 cabinet positions because that man transformed Lagos into an unbelievable level of standard that nobody could believe, safety and everything. That when the current Nigerian president came, he not say because this guy in Yoruba, he only again 1 cabinet position. He so trust him again multiple cabinet position because of incompetence. So you see Akisoya, they demonstrate seriousness, concern, progress. This is the quality of people a government need. Not to people where they can't say, I get PhD, I get this, I get that. None of that means nothing. If the PhD is not producing anything, they act like somebody will get a PhD. You see, here is this woman. Now, and also, let me extend that. See how well she is using constructively the police, the army, for the goods of society. Compare that to some minister then, where they go take army man, and policeman and for go beat people, for go take people in land. You see the big difference?
Yeah.
And this may not have anything to do with Akisoya in gender as a woman. It may have everything to do with the fact that she's an enlightened, progressive thinking kind of person. Mm-hmm. She may have had the same mind. Well, of course, I'm in favor of having more women, but these are the kind of women. If we could get women, then the Akisoya type.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I like people for challenge me. Yeah. But let President Bio tell me any minister we get, we can put at the level of this woman in terms of progressive thinking and accomplishment for the people. So, and you cannot separate the mayor on the city of Freetown from Sierra Leone.
Yeah.
Sierra Leone, Freetown is a showcase for the president and the cabinet. So they should be thankful and happy. But in the United States, we'll get the Army Corps of Engineers. This is not Army man them, but the government can use them constructively for build dam, for build certain things. So it touches my heart when I see the Army man then they, and then police then they, and then other young people and they, the mayor get them for do constructive things. Would I go get issue with the police? Where you hear say the police they help for build drainage, for build safe area in the country. Would I go get issue with the army? Nobody. And so it's not like people. And to me, I think the president should be giving this woman all kind of awards. You know, she should be one of the main advisor within the circle.
Yeah.
Okay. But I know with mentality back home. They may be saying a Creole girl, we don't want her in this circle. This is nonsense. You know, we're not going to ask you for do. We're all Australian. But I know how we think. And sometimes some of our brothers, them, you just cannot take that narrow mentality they out of their mind, no matter how much PhDs they get. You know, the moment they begin to realize that you get a PhD for a reason, for being an enlightened person. You know, you should be enlightened. That's what education is all about. And you think at a higher level. You forget a wider horizon. You forget a broader vision. But if you don't have any of those things and you say you get a PhD, American man get the same. Your PhD is not what the paper is written on. That's all there is. You know? So shame on our PhD brothers in our old position, where they behave in such a way that will make the alma mater ashamed of them if they know what they do. You know? We all get degrees, you know? So I am after this educated, unproductive, oppressive, short-sighted, arrogant set of people there, where they would call them, where they're in the position of leadership. It's about time the president begin for reconsider.
Weed them out.
Yeah,
they say a good farmer that pick the weeds out for letting us suffocate the rest of the rest of the harvest.
These guys are just, they're hopeless. to be frank with you. And I have the capability, I have the capacity to say that because I'm just as educated as they are.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, Mr. Thank you. I'll stand by you, sir. Mr. Allen. Mr. Allen. Yes, good.
Yes.
Among you on the ground in Freetown, you could be no better person for giving what's on the ground. You don't see the mayor in video, and you don't see the.
Unfortunately, I'm part of that committee of the
You're
mayor
part of it.
Of beautifying the city. Yes.
Wonderful okay, you're job. Part of the committee. Good. Okay.
Yes. I'm a member of that committee, and I agree with Mr. Shillong. Because we take a look at the mayor in background, she's highly educated, yes, and able in body, yes. And what did they do so now? But people go facing a man supposed to do it, but no, she's doing extremely well. I only been fall apart, me and two being fall apart some time back on the property tax, of course. Tell friend to know the spoiled friend. I mean, the property tax been come up at a point whereas the corona been the hit and the country been to go through some serious economic issues. See for itself, some people will not be able. They all at a sudden will see people and they go at people and demolish them. They threaten people then for pay for property tax. And not only that, the prices were changed. They been increased. So I've been take the mayor on that one. I challenge them. Then to go like SLBC on a radio station, I challenge them on that. That's where government get for pull the wall, say make them hold on a force. Because it was not timely. That was one. Secondly, again, it was too heavy. So, and in fact, waiting me go say now, most of the things they were for say Mr. Shillong not say, but I got a problem with the local government acts when it comes to the council. I think say we need for now that make it in the talk say we really need to take a look at we lost them. City council they collect property tax. The national revenue also they collect property tax, like where they rent the place or renting a day. So I don't try for several, not only this government, even previous government, I don't try for. So there is really double taxing or what? Probably Mr. Shillong will help you with that. Now they always get problem with the city council because government, according to the city council, government not they give them the subsidy timely. So in that situation, they always depend on this property tax when they collect and other taxes when they collect. But again, as I always say, there are several other sources of income, and the mayor, a very good educationist, and they oversee for several years. Get a lot of young professionals. So that property tax have been get a very serious issue with them because they take a look at say the national revenue they collect property tax where you rent somebody in host, you get for go pay some percentage to the NRA. So there you get for also pay property tax to city council. So it's like double punch against the people. And the issue when we been get to now this property tax, it come the wrong time and they increase back. Would have been they pay 2,000 years, you say no, you pay 5,000. You go look at some people then are just residential house, rent time or whatsoever. And the people that they may use for do valuation of them places, then they were not qualified. Just students and young people then, because even for the value of a house, somebody need to forget the qualification. I think even the Commission of Inquiry, that was one of the problems they encountered. Those guys who were helping the Commission of Inquiry to do valuation of those houses, they were not even qualified. They're not even getting a requisite qualification for doing anything and this. So at the end of the day, somebody could go rate say this house are $5 million. Then similar house he goes here in Nigeria and $1 million. So you can imagine the difference. So that make have been challenged the mayor and the council itself. I say, well, they go challenge you now, but the people who can value them hosts there, they're not being qualified. So now that makes some hosts the way they can go see say, me wait for pay 5 million, me go can pay 1 million, then the person wait for pay 1 million, ain't go end up for go pay. So it was not the coherency was not there. So that make have been challenged on the issues. But apart from that, the mayor is doing well, and they're on track. And we pray say it continue for do what they do. And we go ask for government for make it actually continue for give them the support for make it do more. Just like what Mr. Shillong say. Now people that like the mayor, the president need for always to one. Time to time call on her office when I sit down and strategize. She's a very good strategist. you know. But again, politics, because of this politics here, those guys around President Bio, they know I'm no good person for going near President Bio. That is what is affecting our governments. And they are good governance and Salone. Because people like the mayor, and we're not only the mayor, we got several young professionals them, where they're very good, but just because they not get the name where certain individuals they look for, they no one got made them go near President Bio. And President Bio need all the experts them. It's just like what we've been listening to the presidential debates. They're all been kind of talk. One of the recommendations I gave to President Bio at the inception of in governments, if we don't be very good, time to time, if they get something like a quarterly meeting or monthly meeting with the opposition leaders, the Sam Sumanas, the Young Kellers, and all the other presidential candidates then we're being going to debate with. Because all them guys, they may go showcase their ideas, then how them go make Salone. If President Bio was very clever enough, he can able to get monthly meeting, a retreat with them, and they sit down on table and they strategize how for case Salone go before. Because all them guys then sit down now with their ideas then, dormant. But people around President Bio not go allow that. And now he need them people their ideas then. Samsumana been get a very good idea. Dr. Yumkela been get fantastic ideas. And Samura was been get very good ideas. So you see all their ideas that they put on the table. Believe me, we go get an excellent government. President Bio for don't be more than if we don't be the West African John Mokofuli. But again, I don't know what can go wrong.
Well,
anyway, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Mr. Shilo, you get some too. Low, take one more call.
Yeah, you want to comment quickly? Or
yeah, comment quick. No, take the last caller. Low, take one more caller.
Yeah.
And then we wrap up. We don't reach 2 hour mark.
As a follow-up to Mr. Chubokumezga in statement about the taxation, to some extent, I agree with you. This is where expertise comes into play. For example, it's worldwide. The city council is a government by itself in its own right. That they are normally referred to as local government. And local government, every government get the power for tax. But the methodology used by the city council, I don't know too much of that, may have been the wrong methodology. And that is, first, you got to get professionals for make some kind of assessment, reasonable assessment of the type of increase or increases then what you want to put on the property then. Then there should be a method of collection. People shouldn't be going and knocking on people's door. You know, I mean, so that's a bad way to go about it. Somebody want an expert in taxation and all of that, because people study all in here about in city and government and local planning. They should have, the mayor should have had one or two or three experts then for use and stating ideas. Say, this is what you have planned. I want for raise taxes because I get so many ideas what I want to implement, but it will take money. Ask them, how do you think I should go about it without infringing on the privacy of the people then, and without imposing or arbitrarily unfair application? But if the mayor on his own just decide or what?
No, Mr. Sheila, let me correct you, sir. It was not on your own because don't get that discussion day. It was something that she planned already, and as something where before take during this time where Corona can come, but it was planned that the starting date, because you have a lot of houses that were not even registered. You had a lot of houses when nobody pay taxes, when nobody do all that stuff. That yes, the evaluation process might have been off, for say they overpriced some of the properties. What? But and I've been supporting with that taxes there because why? Yes, we cannot.
I support her. I don't say.
Yes, we cannot stop. Say because Corona Day, we're not going to continue because the system and the county, the council therefore go on, then business therefore go on, exactly. And they not get money. So we cannot say because of Corona they're not going to pay tax. Taxes are paying in America. They don't stop.
Yeah, everywhere government.
Government they function. So why
did a local government
hold on?
Well,
you understand? But yeah,
let me just suggest this. A lot of times we in America, in every city where we do, when the government intend for raise taxes, then they do it in one or two ways. I want to talk about the city government. because you know we get city, we get county and government. But what are they talking about? When they get an idea of increasing the revenue for reach certain goals, then they announce them publicly. So there will be, then they give people in for calm, for talk about it in a city hall, over and over and over, for the ordinary, because ordinary citizens sometimes can get better ideas. Then go tell you why they oppose implementation.
Mr. Salone, that was one of the problem I had with the mayor on the SLBC where we've been doing. They've not been doing proper PR system. I challenge them on that as well. They say, well, then talk to the councillors. I said, but I'm a councillor, I'm hearing nothing like that. And there was nothing like that. And it was just a surprise to the people. And when they do them prices, then they get to notify the constituencies. You get councillors, all of us. Therefore, don't call people, they just like put it in at the town hall. These were some of the things I took with them.
That's how it should have happened.
That's good.
That's how it should have happened. People in Carlin and give them your idea. The councillor cannot make an assessment for them. We want to give people a reasonable time. So they're not going to complain later on, say, we'll not be know everything surprising. Valuation can be very tricky because let's say you get 5 houses, same size, same style, same material. Let me use Freetown as an example. If one of those houses you build on a spur road, then you take another house of the same house, same size, same everything, you build on Congoton. Then you take a similar thing, you build in a Bay Area. Well, they all not going to get the same value because of the location. You see, because Spur Road can be considered a more expensive area. Therefore, the tax base here will be higher because of its physical structure. Bome might be a low-income area, and so the same also if you go build land there because of then you papa left, give you that land there, and you don't see any reason for go buy land anywhere, and you get the money for build the house. That house they definitely for be valued less than the one at Spur Road, you know. So even though they're the same house, same style, same everything.
So by location is what
exactly. Yes. So there was a lot of, I said the methodology was wrong. The mayor had the best of intention. I'm very supportive of that because they not even get, and they forget their own money when they for be able for raise taxes. The money where they come from government for be just subsidy. But the city council should be able, the city council shouldn't plan on the money normal where they come. They should have the ability to raise taxes as long as they can justify it. You know, so that's what
the taxes now they run the country. The taxes
exactly. You can't get all
they long term. We all are long term people. Them we don't born with long term. And long term where municipal school them they na governments they fund them. A government they do that. So them they run right. Them they make the city we see there people where they go around where they collect money where they collect. Day by day, waiting the people and they pay them together, tax people and they go pay their house tax, people and they go pay their property tax and waiting and call. So if the governments they get their own, then can say federal governments can get their own, then the municipal governments have get their own tax because they're for one in day-to-day operations. So you know, so now when they come, but let's take the caller and let will make this the last caller for today. One caller. Let me take one caller for today. Let me give the opportunity because this is a voice of Sarah.
Katie from Massachusetts.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead, please. What do you get for?
Can we vote for that mayor so he can be the president of Sierra Leone?
She has an inspiration to want to run.
He is an amazing woman. Just imagine if we have. She is just amazing. If we have a woman like that as a president of Sierra Leone, imagine that, how Sierra Leone will be right now. Sierra Leone will be amazing. But my God. And the people that you are talking to, then they give excuses about Madabio. Then they blame the cabinet people and keep giving excuses for Madabio. Why is that? Mother Bio not a cent. Mother Bio no. Na in choose in cabinet. Nobody no choose cabinet for her. Mother Bio know who they choose. Mother Bio know who they're getting back. Then they keep giving excuses. Oh, I'm not going to talk for her, but I know say Mother Bio this, Mother Bio. No, Mother Bio know everything that's going on. Just like America here. What within America here? You think say this Trump will pray and pray for let God get rid of. Will God don't get rid of him? Not saying they make the decisions in America. Like they make all kinds of decisions. Nothing no day we in cabinet you do with Trump no this go ahead to do it. The people just keep then they give Mother Bio the hey, they do nothing. They not do nothing. Now the cabinet and they blame innocent people and that's not fair. And not just fair for those people. They need for talk the truth. Mother Bio know what's in the happen. Mother Bio know what's in the go on. Mother Bio even sometimes they will either give to go ahead but let things them happen. So let them stop for the throw blames with everybody. Then they blame other people and then they blame the main person. That's all.
Okay, thank you so much. My sister, I can come in a second there. Where I talk for Mr. Shilon here, Mr. Tuboku Metzika here. It is on the ground. And there's some things, yes, the president knows, but there are something, the way that Salone day right now, some people, they take upon themselves and do things without the boss know until later, the boss go get for find out later. Sometimes it do happen like that. I think that's why Mr. Tuboku Mensika, they can say.
Oh, just ask him if waiting Dennis and president the Senate for good one. No. He's just doing that. He's just doing out of law, But the problem when we go give President Biona, that make in a statement, I say President need for sit up, he got for speak up.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
But a lot of people in the things the President not aware, but President need for speak up.
When things like that they happen, they know say now then they take the blame. If something like that happen, now then they take the blame. What did they do? They put stop to it. Put stop to it right away. And said, I don't want this to go any further.
Well, that's
I am the president.
Thank you so much.
This
anyway,
has to
yeah, that's true because the leadership.
Done with.
Yeah, thank you so much. We appreciate you and come again next week. Tell more people about Voice of Salone. We can discuss.
And you, thank you for your good work and keep the good work.
Thank you, darling. Thank you. So we don't come to the end of today's program. We don't come to the end of today's show. We don't talk. And we get for go do other thing then. Mr. Alan, I say thank you to you for coming. I know say it's like whatever time now in Freetown, 11 o'clock or something. You get for go sleep. I appreciate you. I appreciate all you do. I want to make you give the people then the last word and which you get for say in 2 minutes.
My family, I tell you plenty thank you. I take una time for listening to we now VOS Voice of Salone Television Network. My last word for this program till next week again. Salone. That's why they talk about tribalism. When people say tribalism, they open a Salone, not the work, yeah. I one person where they frown at that statement because a lot of people in the propagator, I don't like to talk about it because we all just mix up and box up, meaning Timini they marry Mende they marry Limba. So that marital thing, it just there between we. You go both today, you find a lot of Mendes, Timinis, Locos, cooking together, eating together. So we all just cut across. But me waiting me to say, let we not allow politics for bring division between we. Because I know say all them things they show up where would they bring politics come. Where this government can frown at the government in day. Where this guy found out, I don't call that tribalism. I call that dirty politics. Now, dirty politics, now people then they actually execute na Salone. Me not call it actually tribalism. Tribalism will never work in Sierra Leone. Always in the happen are just dirty politics and badats. Once again, I say Salone people may will not allow me them politician and Bogwe may they not divide we. Some of we when at Tinini don't go bill na bo, na they would now. Some of we when a labor don't go kenema don't bill it, na they would now. May we did it and live as Sierra Leoneans. May we not allow them politicians and for dirty we. They're not cool, just an handful of them. Now they are Bogwe so we not for allow them. We see what happen in America. So if any government we can Salone want behave like Donald Trump, may fumble them. May will not agree for them. Lord tell her let pack and go. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And to you, Mr. Salone, sir.
Well, I therefore tell all the people around the world where they listen to the program, because I know it's late night for a lot of them, including Mr. Tuboku Mesga. It's heading to midnight. So it takes some degree of dedication. So thank you, everybody. What tune in, what listen, pass the word around, come up with questions and suggestions, encourage others to listen and call in. So thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Mr. Salone. Well, we don't talk within the blessing them. What we want for the President Bio take from this America, within Salone people therefore take from this America election. And like I say, we see on the 3rd of November, America then go cast them vote and then speak louder, say we want change. It was like a referendum where come say we choose humanity, we choose decency. We choose for bring back the gap together and build the gap and bring people together. A transformation we need for a safe place where everybody will feel safe. We need a president. That's what America message says. So President Bill, this is for you. The people of Sierra Leone too therefore need a president where they feel say they work for all the people, not just some of the people. We want a president where because whatever the president say or do impacts the people. So we want a president that will say stop, that will impact people, that will make changes, that will bridge us together. Because the social media is noisy, it is loud. We want a president that is not mute, that will listen, that will hear the cry of the people and bring the change and make the environment conducive for all Sierra Leoneans. That is the message I get from this message. And that's the message we want for the President Bill. Look at very, very, when they call say, Salone people, them, American people have spoken, and the power is with the people, and democracy is working. It is not perfect anywhere, but everybody gets in your way, where go make everything, but let the vote of the people, the voice of the people, now they bring change. And if the government do right, if President Bill do right by the people, he will be elected a second time for continue. The people that will say, we like what you do, we continue. We don't see the mayor. She's doing a fantastic job working together. At least now they don't they at little bit of it look like that they get along, the government and the mayor. This is not about competition. This is about how for better we country. So they're all for day with one word. Yes, there are times when we're not going to meet up agenda or whatever. You go disagree, I go disagree. But when it comes to the good of the nation, we should be able to unite and come together. For be able to be safety and healthcare system, good things, just make it conducive so people that we get dignity. We want for work for money. Let we make the environment, give us good light, water and stuff. We go bring other people then come. We will come put their money there. We will build factory there. Invest in your people. When you invest in your people, you're investing in the future. With people that matter, with people that voice matter, and we cannot be just a subject, but we should be part of the process. The people are part of the process. When you make the people part of the process, the system they go right, the people go love you, and we're not going to go wire. So till next week, I say. I left we all now God and let God bless. We leader them. We pray for them for wisdom and let them enlighten. Let God make them do the right thing and listen. Say humanity before anything else. Put humans first. Put people first. People like Suze Omen, a very big financial advisor in America. They can say it's people, then money, then things. So people are first. People, their livelihood, things that we're going to make people and develop. So we'll pray for them. Let God give them the wisdom, fill them with wisdom and understand. We'll pray for we people them where not well among we, the one that we get corona. I know say I get one young friend where she's still in a coma. They struggle and waiting and call it. They hold on this coronavirus. It don't pass almost 2 months now. She's laying there fighting. Corona is here. They would do what you will get for do for protect me. I protect you. Wear a mask. Do waiting and say wash your hands frequently. And we do what we do, but life has to go on. We get for live. We get for continue. We continue for love. Go give love. Go light somebody's candle. Go make a difference. Let's encourage one another. Let's love one another. Let us share love. Let us share. Let we get along with just one. We all just one. What is it? What is it? Red, blue, green, whatever the color of your party. We know what we know. We have what we have. But when it comes to the good of the country, diversity is good, but we can come together in some things for move the country go forward. So till next week, go beyond beautiful, go beyond you. If you see the shine for me today, the Sunday over me, not jealous me. Go work on yourself. Tomorrow, yourself, the cloud go over me, the Sunday over you. So till next week, I say, God bless we all. Have a blessed and productive week. Till next week, I salute you. Fedima, I'm out. Good night. Thank you. Love you all, and God is love.